Oh, hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. What is going on? I hope all of you are doing particularly well today. I see, went from 0 to 28 people very, very quickly. I was just assuming that I was going to be speaking into the void for a little bit. How is everybody doing today? Can you hear me okay? Yes, no? Hello? Checking. Loud and clear. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, old school setup. So yeah, I came back into my office just to make things a little bit easier on me, so I didn't have to tear down the studio because I had it set up for an interview that I just did with Kim Krause Schwalm. That should come out sometime, I think, in early May. How is everybody doing? Is everybody doing well? Got hello. You have some advertorial to write, my friend. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, before I jump into reviewing people's copy, I do have to let you all know that I am tremendously busy. I got so much going on, and I need to watch my kids tonight. So, I do not know if I'm going to be able to get to everybody's copy. I'm going to do the best I can. The way that we're going to make this a little bit easier on the whole process is for anybody who submitted multiple things for me to look at, I'm only going to look at like one, at most two of those things. Yeah, I got some dark chocolate almonds, rocking those right now. The other thing I'm going to do is, if copy is just terrible, I'm just going to move on, and give general topics for like what to focus on and what to do. The other thing that I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on is, well, to be honest with you, I think Alex and Rod and Lindsey and I think we're going to sell our souls to the dark side. We're talking about launching a back-end product. One of those back-end products that we're talking about is that I've been wanting to do is like a full financial copywriting bootcamp, or a full, I guess it would be like a full funnel copywriting bootcamp. And I was thinking about selling it for like $4,000 to $5,000. And I was trying to think in my head, like, what can we offer that would be worth $5,000? And I've already talked to Kyle Milligan about this and a few other friends. And so we're definitely going to have like guest speakers, guest presenters, guest topics. I'm going to see if I can do like some JVs. Like, so for example, if we do this, like co-launch this with Kyle Milligan, like, would we be able to include like his products on like writing a lead, for example? And then the other thing that I was thinking about, like, what would be part of an offer that nobody has ever promised before for a copywriting product? And I thought of it, which was, well, part of the boot camp would be like you guys would write something, ideally copy. And what we could do is like have you guys write and focus on like, first emails, then advertorials, then different things along the way, finally culminating with like you have to write a full sales letter or a lead for an existing sales letter. And part of the guarantee of this product would be like you are guaranteed to get reviewed by legal and compliance, and if you pass compliance, you are guaranteed to have your copy sent out to a list. So I'm kind of thinking of something along those lines. Would that be something that, like, I mean, obviously this is going to be priced above where most people are, but would that be something that would be compelling to you guys? Like, because that would not only guarantee, like, for example, that you would get data that you could show to future potential employers, but also that might be like the kind of data that would be compelling if you were to try to get a job at a financial publisher. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking about right now. like this would all happen in like August, September, October, because right now I'm working on a large presentation that I'm going to be delivering in Tokyo in July. So I don't know. I'm just trying to gauge y'all's opinions about like what would be compelling, what would be interesting, what would be a good offer. It's different from everybody else. So I wouldn't have a problem with this either. Like, for example, if you're a junior and you write a relead, the typical compensation structure for that is that you would get about 0.5 to 1% of the net sales driven by your copy. So I would have zero issue with actually paying you guys back for the copy you write in this boot camp. So yeah, opportunities to earn an opportunity for the possibility of a job. Yeah, there you go. That's funny. Very astute. That's the thing though. Like I don't want to just take people's money, pun intended. What I would like to do is actually set up a boot camp that I would be able to guarantee some sort of results. So I don't know. You know, the idea is to like make sure that like people are getting what they need in order to succeed in that field. And typically, like for me, especially for Kyle, especially for everybody that I know in financial, especially, that involved seeing data, like actually seeing your copy go out and understanding how it worked, how it performed, things like that. And until you get that sort of experience, you really don't have a taste for it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I would not want to sell this to beginners. This would not be a beginner thing. Absolutely not. Yeah, that's the big thing, the big USP. I'm just trying to think of like how do you all y'all know that copywriting is it's a saturated space. So how do you differentiate? And I think that what I'm talking about is a way to do it. I'm just sort of like openly brainstorming with you guys. Yeah, it would be virtual. The only sort of stipulations I guess it would be like I need to be like, for example, if you're in Russia or Iraq or some country, like North Korea, for example, there's not going to be a way that I can like take your money or pay you money. Like that's not going to work. But if there's sanctions against the country where you live, it might be a little difficult for me to have this sort of like reciprocal arrangement. So those would be the exceptions. Yeah, but here's the thing. Like it's like a dog chasing a wheel. What happens when the dog catches the wheel? It doesn't really know what to do with it. Like part of like this is I would probably have some sort of application funnel attached to it. There would definitely be either one-to-one, like either access via a Discord, or it would be like, there would be like Q&A calls on like every single week of the boot camp. So there'd be like lesson with Q&A at the end, lesson with Q&A at the end, a feedback session, etc. So yeah, these are all things that I'm just kind of openly thinking about. I mean, I think it is going to be an application funnel. So, anywho, that's what I'm thinking about. But you guys are not here to see me thinking about things that I can sell. You guys are here to see me critique and rip apart people's copy. So, why don't we do some of that? We will start at the beginning, and when we reach the end, we will stop. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right. So we have multiple pieces of copy. I'll look at one or two. So this is a welcome email. This person has just signed up to a newsletter. The reader is exactly 40 years old. Oh my god, I'm gonna be that person in like 7 months. Reader, responsible for overseeing the company's data strategy, governance, and management initiatives, develops and implements data strategies. The idea, welcome email to increase brand engagement and set expectations. Offer, quick and easy links to the most popular useful blogs. That's fine. Various quick and useful links. Subject line, welcome to our community of data architects. Okay. If you are a data architect and you signed up to this list, that's definitely relevant to you. The thing that you have to understand with welcome emails is that the subject line copy never has to be super good because the context is already very high. People are already very aware of what they just did. So there's not a whole lot of like information missing there. They're looking for your email typically. So you often see with welcome emails a open rate and click-through rate that's way higher than you would normally expect. If this is a big if, your welcome emails are not going to spam, which is always a major issue. So one of the reasons why you typically want to have like two-step confirmation, like you'll sign up for an email, then get an email like, hey, is this your email? And confirm it, please. And then after that, then you'll get a welcome email. Some CRMs will send both at the same time. It's very problematic. Neither here nor there. Hey, first name. We're happy to see you join our community of data architects. All right. You'll be the first to know about the latest editions, articles, and goodies. I don't know what that means. Latest editions, articles, and goodies. Why not just say, be the first to know about, and then colon, fresh thought leadership. So, okay, we're suggesting, why not just delete that? What is up? That is unfortunately going to be coming later. A lot of people submitted copy today. Yeah, so I would say you'll be the first to know about fresh thought leadership content covering the latest data architecture and AI trends. Instant access to reference architectures, ebooks, reports, webinars, blog posts, and more. Again, we're talking to data architects, so there you go. Insights covering scalable AI, analytics, data mesh, data fabric, and enterprise data management. But in the meantime, here are some popular articles to get you started. It's fine. It's bland. This particular email also join the community and that's just a weak CTA. Like I understand. Listen, with any sort of welcome email, you're always going to want to have some sort of CTA. And welcome emails typically, very typically, have multiple CTAs. They sort of violate the rule of one because you're just trying to like get so much out. And that's the one situation where I've seen where it's like it doesn't really hurt response because again, the CTAs that you're asking for are typically pretty bland. You often are not asking for the sale, though what we found through testing was that when we started selling stuff in the welcome email, response tended to get better and we tended to make more money. Go figure, right? And you can do that either directly via PS, via CTA, via, click here to schedule your appointment now, CTA. But another subtle way to do it in a welcome email, I'm not saying to do it here, is with a space ad, where it's like you see a little break and it has in little faint italics the word advertisement or sponsored content, and then something that looks like a network ad, a little bit of copy, some piece of creative that allows people to click through to a promo, and then like some indicator, your content continues below. And so there's just a space ad that's there in that welcome email that's always going to be generating revenue for you. Again, these are just different strategies that you can use if you're trying to monetize on a welcome email. Now, here's what I like about this. It's direct, it's to the point. Here's what I don't like about it. It's pretty bland, but then again, it's going to data architects. So how could it be less bland? I'll give you some ideas. Here's the thing. These are all sort of features. What is the benefit of having fresh thought leadership content? What is the benefit to having instant access to reference architectures? What is the benefit to having these insights? All that needs to get spelled out for a reader. All that needs to get spelled out for somebody who's just signing up to this particular email sequence. You need to give people a reason to stick around, to want to listen to you, etc., etc. And so, an easy way to do that in this particular welcome email is to just talk about some of the successful people who read this particular publication. So, if you don't have anybody that's like that, and this publication has been going out for a while, I'm going to give you a little sneaky tactic that I've used before in promos and stuff like that. Ask for a list of all the emails on the list currently, and then look for the @ and then the domain, because that legally allows you to say things like, our content is widely read by, the geniuses at Citibank, the geniuses at Johns Hopkins University, by, this number of universities and things like that. That's a tactic that all of you can use to really add not only social proof to your welcome sequences, but also to your squeeze pages, your landing pages, etc., etc. That's a very easy way to get social proof, and all it requires you to do is just look at the list. But that doesn't solve the problem of the lack of emotion here. So, thank you. I wish I could take credit for that, but no, I stole it from another copywriter at Agora who kind of figured that out. The thing that you want to do here is just provide somebody with some benefits. Does the word can weaken your CTA? Should you be more direct instead? You can sign up versus sign up. Let's see. Where do you see this? Yeah. So I mean that's just that does weaken the CTA down here. I once had, this is a tangential story. I once had a multi-email argument with a legal editor over the semantic difference between can and could. Could is the past tense version of can. They both mean the same thing, the possibility. This legal editor wanted to change every can to could, and I was just like, sometimes that doesn't make grammatic sense. But, legal editors, they typically win about 80% of the time, especially if they decide that this is the hill that they're going to die on. So a stronger way to phrase this would be just simply the imperative. Join our community, give the community a name, and connect with company, experts, and your peers. And then give somebody like what they need to do. Click here, go here, do this. So, anywho, yeah, the biggest thing that this is missing is, as Warren points out, the emotion. I gave you some tactics for increasing your social proof, providing benefits, etc., etc. All those are going to improve this email tremendously. But what you really do need to start doing in your copy, even if you're writing to like emotionless robotic data architects, you need to give the data architects a reason to listen to you. Nobody wakes up kicking. This doesn't pass the bed test, and the real ones will know what I'm talking about when I talk about the bed test. None of these bullets pass the bed test. So, yeah, I agree. Can is a positive. Could, a little bit more passive. But you can also just get rid of both and just use the imperative. Imperatives are powerful. Let's look at another email in this sequence. Lame. This is supposed to be a welcome to a webinar? Yeah, so with welcomes to webinars, the key thing that you want to do, and this is the key for any piece of webinar copy or any webinar funnel, The main determinant of how much money you make with a webinar is how many butts you can get in seats for that webinar. Now, let me ask you guys, as you see this, does this make you feel like, oh my God, I need to show up for this webinar? No. And in fact, I would say that it sells against the webinar by saying, in the meantime, go elsewhere, do this other thing. It dilutes focus from the one thing that's most important, the webinar. Now, in a typical webinar, and this is something that was pioneered by, I have the book. Aha! This book. I need to send this actually out to a Patreon member. But in that book, one of the things that he really talks about is like, give people a free training sequence. And guess what? That free training sequence can often just be like a reframed, more value-oriented version of a portion of the sales letter that provides the script of the webinar. That way you don't have to like write, 2 times as much copy. And so what you want to do in a welcome email for a webinar sequence typically is get people excited to read the next thing in the sequence. Definitely tease, provide some benefits to sticking on the sequence, getting the next training or what have you. And you definitely want to provide a lot of benefits, you really want to sell people on showing up to this particular webinar. So yeah, and in fact, if you guys want additional value, and if you're signed up to the Copy That email list, what Rod has been doing is, all right, some context. I recently interviewed on the channel Aaron Gensler, a publisher and CMO for a pretty big financial publishing firm. He, on the side, has a agreement business JV, something like that, with Sean Twing, who used to work with Andre Chaperone. If these names mean nothing to you, don't worry about it. They're doing a big old webinar launch for a big old product. And basically, Sean and Aaron were like, Sean, do you want to support the launch? And I was like, well, let me ask the guys. And so I asked Rod, Lindsey, and Alex, and they were just like, yes, we will do an affiliate launch, but we want to do it our way. So rather than just send out the copy that they provided for the affiliate launch, we've been sort of like commenting on it, like asking other people, like quizzing people, asking people to learn from the copy that was written by these pros, so that it's not just like a normal webinar where we're just trying to sell people on stuff. We're actually trying to get people engaged with and learn stuff. So, I think we have a banner for that. Hold on. Yeah, copythatshow.com. The not very frequently used website that we use. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on some of the copy that has been provided here. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you learned a lot. And I hope that that improves the copy for these different welcome emails. The thing that you have to understand with any email sequence, and I have a whole masterclass in the Patreon on email sequences, you want to make sure that you understand what's going on and why necessarily you're writing and what your goal is. If you're writing a welcome sequence, you got to be clear on like what you're trying to do. If you're writing a welcome sequence for a webinar, guess what? Your one task is to get butts in seats. That's it. All right. Let's go to the next thing. One piece of copy in 24 minutes. Oh my God, I think that might be a record for me. All right, we have an outreach email. Yeah, and I'm also checking stuff off as I go through so I don't get lost in the sauce. All right. The product is a divorce recovery course for women between 30 and 45. Oh, sorry. Wrong thing. Protein supplement ecom store. Things I like about the brand. Authority improved by Sean White. Video proof testimonials. Good for our planet section. Things that I can help with. Product page. Email marketing. Superfood USP is not stated enough. Okay. Basically, they called the ingredients that their supplements are made for superfoods. I thought about including in the email to make it sound more unique and personalized. Okay, Myra, you don't talk enough about superfoods. Here's why I like that subject line. It's direct. It calls the person out. It's relevant to that person. So, I think that could potentially work. I don't think you need to include the period there, but that's neither here nor there. Let's zoom in a little bit. Enhance. And that's not only you, but many of your potential prospects are in the same situation. Okay. So this is doing a cutesy thing where it's letting the copy pick up where the subject line leads off. And listen, I've tried it. I was young once and cutesy too. It typically doesn't work. And here's why. Human brains compartmentalize the information that they get. When they see a bit of information in one context, a subject line, for example, they typically don't stitch it together to the next bit of information in the next compartment, the opening line of whatever. In certain copy contexts, that started to change in like long form sales letters to VSLs. For example, people would like rhetorically or syntactically tee up a headline. So you would have the previous sentence before a subheadline lead into the headline. So you would have like in the body copy, and that means ... and a sub headline would be like, you will get rid of your ass herpes. Good copy. That works well because you're seeing it back to back. And so there's some signal. And because sales letters nowadays typically get converted into VSL scripts, you don't hear what is being visually represented there. Like, for example, you hear like just the sentence plainly. You don't see that visual distinction is being made. So it works in that context. Here's why it doesn't work in this context. You'll see this in the subject line, but then like there becomes a much larger separation between the subject line and the first line of an email. So can this work? Sure. I'm sure it's worked in some situations. Does it test well? No, it typically loses to just starting fresh in the body copy. And I appreciate that. I like the idea of a transition from the subject line, but it just doesn't work very, very frequently, or at least very well. I have seen it fail too many times for me to say, like, this is what you should do. Have I seen it succeed before? Yeah, I've seen it succeed before. It just doesn't do so very often. And that's just because, again, of the human mind's tendency to compartmentalize information. Hold on. Is the masterclass mini sample on YouTube membership also available? Okay. Almost all of the videos in the YouTube masterclass mini sampler are in Patreon. The whole point of the masterclass mini sampler is to get people encouraged and excited about joining the Patreon. So yes, everything there is in Patreon as well. Anywho, that's not only you, but many of your potential prospects are in the same situation. So this sentence is saying that many of the potential prospects don't talk enough about. Hold on. You don't take enough superfoods, and many of your potential prospects are in the same situation. All right, that's fine. My Lizdexia was acting up. Yeah, that is the case. This is what I was talking about. Thank you for succinctly saying in a few words what I took many words to say. We both know what that can lead to. Well, I believe that you're missing three things and are leaking potential prospects from Kachava. Okay, we both know that it can lead to, and we both know this can obviously be solved if they buy one of Kachava's supplements. Okay, it's relevant, but some do and some don't. And that's a shame because it's a unique business with a lot of potential and a USP that I never saw in any other competitors. I feel like you're missing something, Myra. More precisely, I believe that you're missing 3 things that, in my opinion, are leaking out potential. This is not bad. I had that one little quibble here, but so far this is very relevant. And here's the problem that I see with this. It sounds like you're teeing up to sell something, which is fine. Some business owners want to be sold. They want to hear about a service that can help them. Now, there's an easy way to signal that. And it's a shame because it's a unique business and with a lot of potential USP that I never saw in any other competitors during my time as a professional copywriter. But I feel like you're missing something, Myra. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Like there's ways that you can subtly like let people in on the fact that you are a vendor without like being coy and playful about it. And in some situations, especially situations where you're directly like selling yourself as a service, that can be beneficial. Again, these are things that you want to test and try out over time. But I have found that that subtle flagging, like, hey, by the way, this is what I do, this is what I can do for you, and this is what I notice about your business, that tends to work pretty well. Yeah. It'll come back in about a month. It needs to be edited. And there's other stuff in the pipeline. Yeah, and I definitely think that naming the competitors might be helpful, but it doesn't need to happen up here. The risk that you run with naming competitors also is that, like, for example, if Myra is not familiar with competitors, then it's falling on deaf ears. But I've definitely had the experience before where, like, I've seen somebody like take a lead and try to sell it to another service, or try to sell it to a publisher. And what they said was like, I have a feeling that this lead would work either well for your guru or for somebody like this. The subtle implication there being that, like, if you don't take this, I will sell it to your competitor. So that would be one way to actually get attention from Myra. So I recorded a little video, which is less than 5 minutes, where I go through what these 3 holes are and how you can close them up so you can use 100% of the business potential. This is a sentence or a clause that doesn't really make sense. What does that mean? So you can use 100% of the business potential. Like, what does that actually mean? It doesn't really mean anything. It sounds copyish, therefore like bullshit. So I would revise this. I think this is okay because you already set up the holes before. Leaking out potential prospects. But here's the thing. You call them 3 holes, but you don't previously say that they're holes. This is something that's common in copy, and especially long form copy. People do not put together that when you're talking about this thing, that this is what you're also talking about, that you're talking about the same thing in 2 different places. Here's why they don't put it together. They're skimming, they're not really paying attention, and they're not going to do the thinking for you, which is why long sales letters are often so repetitive. You have to use the same words in the same sequence over and over again in order for it to connect in a person's memory. So that is something that you want to keep in mind. I believe that you have 3 holes leaking out potential prospects from Kachava. And of course, if it were me writing this, I would be playful. Like, like this is what is it? A supplement superfood Kachava. Is that an actual drink? It's a protein supplement, so I imagine so. Yeah, so what I would do is like, and just as bad as having a hole at the bottom of your cup of Kachava, you have a hole in the bottom of your funnel that is leaking out potential prospects that would be eager to buy. Something along those lines. I get playful like that in these sorts of situations, but that's just me, and you don't have to do that. So all in all, I give this email a B. It passes. I think you can send it out now, and you're going to get a greater than 0% response rate depending upon how you stylize this for different businesses. Everything that we talked about over the last 10 minutes or so are just subtle, small optimizations, grammatical things, ways to improve. But this is not bad. I've seen way worse outreach. Yeah. Just, it's all about the holes. Lots of holes. Definitely some hole jokes. All right. So that was pretty good. I don't want to linger too long because I want to make sure I get to everybody, and I don't know if we're going to have time to. So we're going to move on. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for submitting. All right. Share this tab instead. Let me do this. Oh my God. It's a Mr. Warren West's copy. GLP Ignite landing page. All right. Enhance. Product is GLP Ignite, a natural supplement that harnesses the power of leptocore. Oh, so like it affects the hormone leptin. So I can already tell you that this is going to be, without looking at the rest, it's going to be some sort of diet supplement or some sort of like hunger suppressant that either works with or enhances the effects of Ozempic or Wegovy. Okay. Oh, hey, I legit, I'm not lying, did not see this. Okay, cool. And berberine extract to manage your appetite and boost metabolism, helping you focus more on life and less on food. Okay, target audience, female, 25 to 40. All right. Chronic dieter, has heard of Ozempic, but has never tried it. Very specific audience, love it. Solution aware, got it. Saturated, high sophistication. People have heard it all before. They've been exposed to all marketing and sales. They're often skeptical and jaded. Perfect. Okay. Warning. Unlike the miracle weight loss drug Ozempic, this is not an inject. Okay. Anyone else frozen? God, I hope not. Shit. Are we frozen? We shouldn't be. Oh, man. Hopefully. Okay, we're good. We're good. So this is a bad habit of mine where like I'll see one comment, it's like your audio sucks. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. But it's typically that just that one person. Yes, absolutely. Good. Whew. Here's my thoughts on this. Let's just put this past the 4 U's really quick. Is this useful? No. What is the benefit here? There is no benefit. The benefit is contingent upon you already understanding the benefits of Ozempic, which a person might not. You already say they're solution aware, so we're going to give the benefit of the doubt. But this headline does not spell out like the actual benefits of the thing that you're selling. So we're not passing the useful test. Is it ultra specific? Yeah, it's pretty specific. Unlike this thing, whatever this thing is. So this, I would say, like removes some of the specificity, but you do well with talking about the benefits that you're selling against. Okay, injection, no intense side effects. Is it urgent? No. Well, the warning provides a little bit of urgency, but it's that fake, vague sort of urgency. And is it unique? It could be. It's getting close. So you need to work on this headline a little bit. Unlike the miracle weight loss drug Ozempic, if this is trying to sell against alternatives, why are you calling it a miracle? I would do something like, people thought Ozempic was a miracle, like in the eyebrow copy. What they didn't realize was that there was a better, let me put it to you this way. We're in a high state of market sophistication. I'm going to tell you a little story because I like teaching with stories because I think it's better than me just telling you the answer. Back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s, everybody was hot and horny for fish oil. People just fucking wanted fish oil. Like they were just like, oh my God, I'm lacking omega-3s. I need fish oil. So what did supplement companies do? They looked at this and they were like, are there any other sources of omega-3s or fatty acids? What they discovered was that krill oil was a potential supplement that was better. And then they measured how much like actual omega-3s you can get from krill oil. And it was like 100 times as much omega-3s and fatty acids than fish oil. So what was the fucking headline? 100 times better than fish oil. The new supplement that's 100 times better than fish oil. And so that's really all they had to do. And so, like, what you're trying to do here is sell against alternatives. Your headline should be basically teasing a thing that's better than Ozempic. Unlike, so like you'd have like something like, everybody thought Ozempic was a miracle. What they didn't realize was that you could get this benefit, this benefit, and this benefit without, and have that typical get benefit without pain point style of headline. That would work pretty well here. You could also like try to find some way to quantify it. X times better than Ozempic, or get all the benefits of Ozempic without this. The problem that I'm running into is that this, what is this? It's a supplement, obviously, but like this doesn't explicitly state what the benefits are. So hopefully I gave you enough there to start thinking about how to revise this. Yeah. 100 times better than vitamin E. And Evan, guess what? I'm going to bet you $1 that probably did pretty well. It probably did pretty well. Because, yeah, there you go. That's oftentimes, especially with solution-aware, highly sophisticated audiences, that's all you need to do. Find some simple, very simple, like I'm talking like IQ 75 simple way of articulating a benefit over the alternative. I know it doesn't feel right, but it works. So, introducing GLP Ignite is a new supplement that balances your body's signals for when you're hungry and when you're full. That means you can lose weight without feeling like you're missing out. Is that a real pain point? I don't know if that's a real pain point. So buy box GLP Ignite. Okay, so this is like more of a product page, like, and this would be like the CTA towards the top that allows people to skip the copy. Totally fine in this particular case, because like when people are landing on this page, they typically have seen other copy before. I would make a signal like over here. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can't see my cursor, but like on the right hand side of this page, around where this is, you might want to have like some sort of indicator to like put an image or like actually show what people are getting when they do this. Just to have it be more specific. I will typically do that because I have worked in very tightly regulated like industries, and typically you're not allowed, according to the FTC, to include a CTA before you like really spell out or show what people get. Like I've tried to include CTAs earlier in a sales letter, and legal was just like, no, unless you actually spell out the offer. But if you spell out the offer too early, then you sort of like take away the magic of the sale. So it's a tightrope. This is true. This is true. That is a miracle drug. What about the second line as the first? Take out the word miracle. It's not a miracle. It has side effects. So, yeah, okay. Sia was responding to Tanya. Anyway, description. GLP Ignite combines leptocore and berberine extract to regulate your metabolism, control appetite, and support healthy blood sugar levels, all in a clean, easy-to-take pill. Experience effective natural weight management without the complications of harsh and expensive drugs. I would change that particular phrase, like, without needing expensive drugs or the complications, so like and side effects associated with them, something along those lines. Everything aside from that was totally fine. So this was almost like a thesis statement, and so I imagine there's 17 pages of copy. We're obviously not going to get to all of it, but a lot of the copy down below is going to be basically like expanding out on this. So, what is it? Dan Kennedy says, if the headline is designed to grab people by the eyeballs, then the lead is supposed to actually expand on the headline and keep people reading. I've written some content about this, and there are some community posts about this, but I avoid doing this. Like, except for one, we had a like how copywriting gurus scam you. The front part of that is like a really my favorite skit that I've written for the channel, and then the back part of that is like different like techniques, and then with each technique, the legal like sort of stumbling blocks that people typically run into. And I did it in a beard and a funny voice, to because compliance issues are they just don't the retention is bad, and so I wanted to make it funny. But the problem with compliance, like stuff like that, there can be no specific guideline because a lot of this is just vibes and it changes from like administration to administration, and like the FTC is constantly changing the rules. So there's like I would release a video being like, these are the new rules that the FTC has about like income claims, and it would be obsolete within a month. And I'm not the type of copywriting person who wants to remake the same videos about the same topics over and over again. That I would literally would rather die. Yeah, it was Dr. Kloipenstock, Dr. von Kloipenstock. So yeah, social proof testimonials, credibility stuff. Okay, let's be clear. GLP Ignite is not the miracle drug Ozempic in pill form, but it does work in a similar way. This can be punched up. That's the weakest part of this. I like that you're disclosing this. You are not being misleading. You're just very upfront being like, it's GLP Ignite is not Ozempic in pill form. But it might find some better way to articulate this that's a little bit stronger. Off the top of my head, rather than it does work in a similar way, but it does pack the same weight loss potential that Ozempic does, or something along those lines. Like, make sure that you articulate it such that it's true, but be more specific. Like Ozempic and other popular smegma drugs, GLP Ignite helps regulate your appetite and boost your metabolism, but it does so using two natural ingredients. Leptocore and berberine extract work with your body to enhance its natural processes. Describe the processes. Are these weight loss or metabolic processes? Like, make sure that what the processes are attached to either what the supplement does or the unique mechanism that you're going to spell out later. Not override them. Yeah, it's again same problem here as here. If you're trying to sell against an alternative, the one thing you don't want the alternative to be painted as is as a miracle. Just saying. You want your drug, your supplement, to be the miracle. It's a miracle that you can finally have the benefits of Ozempic without the thing. You see what I'm saying there? Like, that's different than what you currently have. Then why do you keep mentioning it? Okay. As long as communication is being achieved. We'll read one more section and then we'll carry on. A lot of what I'm saying, I don't think, Warren, you are missing out on what I'm trying to communicate to you. Like, there's just some copy that could be a little bit stronger. And a lot of that is just like once I'm pointing it out to you, you're probably saying like, okay, I see why that's not the greatest. Don't spend the best years of your life feeling your worst. Not bad, not the best. If you tried all the diets and nothing seems to stick, it's not your fault. My temptation for this sentence is to like gradualize it a little bit more. Like actually like try to spell out people's pain points around trying a bunch of different diets. Um, some of my favorite diet sales letters do that really, really, really well. And so, yeah, that's something that you might want to think about. Like this just feels too like, if you've tried all the diets and nothing seems to stick, it's not your fault. Compare that to like, listen, we've all been there. We've all tried the fad diets. We've all tried the meds. We've all tried different supplements. We all know and have tried all these things, and nothing seems to stick. But I have to tell you, or if you're writing from a corporate voice, but we have to let you know, it is not your fault. Most diets ignore your body's natural hunger signals, so you end up feeling starved and miserable. Do you see what I did there? It's just like spell it out, add a little bit more drama, gradualize it a little bit more. So it's like they set you up to fail from the start. GLP Ignite does things differently. Similar to Ozempic and other smegma drugs, it works with your body to balance hunger pangs and boost your metabolism. All right. Balance hunger pangs. Is balance the right verb there? I'd think about that. See, it's not about forcing you to ignore your cravings or live on carrot sticks and salad. It's about it's not about. So what is this referring to? GLP Ignite? That wouldn't really work because the last it was, the last noun phrase was this. You have like this it, the antecedent being that, and then this, I guess, would be this, which would be that. So be conscious as you're writing. See, GLP Ignite is not about. See, like this is where like it's not very good TV, because now we're going to get into the weeds of like, okay, we need to be more specific here. What is this referring to grammatically? And then you need to recast the sentence in a specific way. See, GLP Ignite or using GLP Ignite doesn't force you to ignore your cravings or live on carrot sticks and salad. That would be a stronger sentence in that particular case. So let's see. I'm looking at the comments. Is there a way to see the line between spelling it out and making more emotional versus just yapping? Yeah. So, for example, if every line of gradualizing and spreading things out is either building tension or speaking to a person's specific experiences, then it makes it more emotional. If it's just like, now I have to tell you something, and when I tell you something, you're not going to believe it. Yeah, but when you see it, you're probably not going to believe it either. But I got to tell you, you gotta see it to believe it. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're building tension and you're spreading stuff out, but it's not specific. It's just hollow. You're clearing your throat to announce something to the room, and nobody gives a shit. But if each line of copy connects very specifically to a person's lived experience and their pain points, then it helps. But also it depends. There you go. Check out the food noise part and I'll be eternally grateful. Okay. Sounds good. Testimonial goes here. How GLP ignites key ingredients work. Okay. Aha. I knew it. When leptin levels are balanced, you feel okay. This is why you use the verb balance. I see now. I get it. You're less likely to overeat. So I take back what I said about the balance being the best verb, because it does have it. There is a resonance later on that matters. By helping to stabilize your blood sugar levels up to core, also keeps your mood and energy levels more consistent without your cravings, yada yada. Let's go to How to quiet the constant food noise. Do you think about food all the time, even when you're not actually hungry? Food noise is like having a radio in your mind that's always tuned to the food station. I feel like there needs to be another line between this and this. It could probably be as simple as that's because you're suffering from what I prefer to call food noise. Just so that there's a tiny logical bridge. Food noise is like having radio in your mind. It's especially tough when you're trying to balance family, life, work, and social events. It can feel like food is always calling your name, making it really hard to focus on the things and people you love. One thing I'm noticing, Warren, and this is just something to keep in mind. I'm not saying that the copy is bad. You have a tendency to over rely on is, is, are, is, etc. You see what I'm saying? This is one sentence that uses the verb to be multiple times. And part of the reason for that is because you keep over relying on it. What is it? Like, obviously, it refers to this, but you keep reusing it. It can feel, making it really hard. What you're running into is that you keep using words that do not by themselves have any weight or emotionality or meaning to them. It only means anything in the context of a larger sentence or paragraph or what have you. And that can be useful to avoid repeating yourself, but you also have to keep in mind from a copywriter's perspective, people are going to be skimming. People are going to get to your it and they aren't going to know what it means. All right? That's one thing. The other thing too is that the power of your copy really does come from verbs. Now, one of the things that, and again, these are advanced tactics. I normally reserve this for my $10,000 mentoring program. For you, Warren, you get it for $20, I guess. And everybody else gets it for free. But GLP Ignite is designed to help turn down that noise. Listen, look at that sentence really quick. And I want you to compare that to a sentence I'm about to give you. We designed GLP Ignite to help turn down that noise. What is the meaningful difference between the sentence I just came up with versus yours? All I did was change the word order around and change the meaning of it so that you wouldn't be using the verb is. You understand what I'm saying? So, by looking for opportunities, yeah, it's more active for sure, but it also implies intentionality. That GLP Ignite is not just this thing that exists. There's a story behind we designed GLP Ignite to help turn down that noise. Get what I'm saying? And so here's the thing. All of us, all 56 of us that are watching now, and all 200 to 300 people that are watching this in the future, again, this is an advanced tactic. We all write like this because we're all trying to write fast and we're trying to get copy out the door because we're trying to get paid. In the revision process, this is something that you want to look for. This is something that you want to do as you go through your copy because almost everyone is guilty of this. And all your copy is going to be much, much stronger if most of your words communicate something that the reader can actually latch onto and understand. To clarify my previous question on yapping, I've seen that sometimes longer emotional copy performs less than shorter, more straightforward sentences. Is there a way to know why that is? Yeah, it comes down to context. In some cases, people are expecting more punchy, more direct copy. Here, we're actually trying to like listen, nobody goes out and buys a weight loss drug unless they one feel bad and two like need to be convinced of like the superiority of the weight loss drug compared to other weight loss drugs, um, or if they're not like immediately emotionally motivated by stuff. So in this particular context, it makes sense to be more emotional, to spend more time being emotional in the copy because again, the motivations, the emotions that drive people are a little different in other contexts. Like, for example, if you are selling a model airplane to model airplane builders, you don't need to spend a whole lot of copy being like, are you the type of person that's tired of, models that require glue? Are you sick of glue-based model building kits? Are you just sick and dog tired of dealing with these poorly constructed modeling kits? Well, it's not your fault. Like, you understand what, like, I got a little unhinged there because that's how you sound when you like over spell out pain points in a context that doesn't require it. So yeah, all of you can right now go Wikipedia, um, an article called E Prime. There was basically a whole like movement to try to force people to communicate without using the verb to be. E prime. Yeah, and also don't go back and forth changing the verbiage. Absolutely. I imagine that's the glue comment. So anyway, moving on. By balancing your body's natural signals of hunger and fullness, GLP, and laughing and enjoying the conversation, calculating calories or planning your next snack. You'll regret later. The question that I have here is: are these actual things that a person who's concerned about their weight thinks about? Um, I have known some obese people, and one of the things that they are self conscious about is they'll get to a restaurant or they'll get to a kiosk or something like that, and they'll order something, and they'll order multiple things, and there will be somebody with them standing like beside them. This is actually a real thing that happened to me in my real life. I had an obese friend and I had another friend who was a little bit on the spectrum, and she said to my other obese friend, as my obese friend was ordering, she ordered like multiple things, like let's say it was two hot dogs at this kiosk. And this my skinnier friend said to my obese friend, "It's okay. I don't want a hot dog." And then my obese friend said, "No, they're both for me." And so with stories like that, moments like that, you create a more provocative picture than this. Imagine sitting through a family dinner where you're laughing and enjoying the conversation instead of calculating calories. Most people aren't sitting there calculating calories. Most people are more concerned about how they are viewed by other people. You get what I'm saying here? I'm saying, like, if you want to dimensionalize this better, you change the frame. You spell out a hypothetical or you spell out a story where it's more about how they are being perceived, not how they feel. Because if you're obese, there's an easy solution to that nagging thought of eating something that you'll regret later. It's to eat something. But the thing that makes people feel bad, the thing that motivates them to action, is how they're going to be perceived when they do and when they succumb to those feelings. Just something to think about. Yeah. Getting judged is real. So that's, again, this is all advanced stuff. The copy here is good enough. It's fine. You did a fine job. What I'm trying to give you here is like, here's how you take passing copy and turn it into much greater copy. With GLP Ignite, you can find that mental space again, where food doesn't overshadow every moment. It supports your journey toward a healthier lifestyle without the pressure of obsessing over every bite. This means that you can be more present with your children. Here's the one thing that I feel like is missing from this copy. There's a sales letter, and I think the headline was the fat burning reset switch. And I want you to read that sales letter. I don't think that the structure of that fits here. Like, this is more of like a long product page. You know what I'm saying? But in that sales letter, the fat burning reset switch, and in fact, let me see if I can find it really quick. The advantage of being on this computer rather than in my studio is that I have a much bigger screen, and so it's a lot easier for me to just find stuff. All right. Here. Okay. Open a new window. Share this tab instead. All right. Zoom in. Enhance. If you want a good example, everybody watching, a good example of really emotional weight loss copy, and I'm talking like really emotional, like, oh my God, like, how could somebody sleep well at night saying some of the shit in this fucking sales letter? Like, this is one we're studying. It's really good for understanding. It's like really hyperbolic financial copy, where it's like, you shouldn't do some of the stuff that it does, but it's good to learn from because it teaches you stuff. As you go through the sales letter, look at this. Like, how could, even if you're skimming and you see this stuff, like, you immediately, you're like, oh, you just feel bad about yourself. A dark cloud of depression following you everywhere. As you get into the mechanism section, one of the things that's interesting is that even the mechanism has a story attached to it. All this, everything that we've looked at so far, is like her personal struggle with weight loss and like her personal stories. And look at, I went online. I was shaking with nerves. It's written provocatively. Good stuff. Now, here, fat burning reset switch. It was a brainchild of this person. Now we actually have the story. And what we have here is not only the story of how it was discovered, this particular supplement and how it works, but also the actual story behind how it works. Look at some of this copy. My heart thudded in my chest. What if Jonathan refused to help me? What could I do? He said it can be simplified by focusing on only two organs, the thyroid gland and the adrenal glands. Do you see how this is, even with the mechanism reveal, spelling out a story, creating tension, dragging things out in an emotional way? I want you to compare that with what you got going on here. Lepticor is specifically formulated to help regulate leptin, which is often called the satiety hormone. You get what I'm saying? And I probably should have switched, for rhetorical effect, I should have switched to your copy. The moment I read that, people probably were just like, what the hell is he doing? It's fine to do this for a product page, but it does lose emotional power the moment where you're just explaining stuff. And if it's one thing I've discovered after years of doing this, is that when you explain stuff too much, especially outside of the context of a story, it saps the power of your sales argument. So, yeah, exactly. The guy who wrote the sales letter really shoved in the knife and twisted. And what you're doing here is you're explaining something that nobody was asking about. You understand what I'm saying? How GLP's key ingredients work? Nobody's reading your page and asking that. What they're asking is, will it work for me? And for that, in particular, story can help, a little bit of drama can help, a little bit of like actually painting the picture can help. And again, that's not going to work for every client. It's not going to work for every single situation. It might not work for this, but if you were writing in a different context or you're trying to actually like really stretch this out and make it a little bit more provocative, a little bit more compelling, that's what you would want to do. Warren, I'm going to move on to somebody else. Is there any other thing that you want me to look at or any other questions that you have? I feel like I gave you a lot that's a little bit more on the more difficult side. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving you something that's a little bit more simple and easy for you to understand, because I know that you need that. I'm teasing Warren. Guys, it's okay. I'm teasing Warren. I'm going to wait for his response. In the meantime, does anybody else have any questions? Okay. All right. I'm not hearing from Warren or he's writing a... Thank you. I sincerely appreciate that. I frequently worry about that, especially when I see the numbers go up and then go back down. Yeah. I've known Warren for Christ, like 3 years at this point. Like it's just how certain insecure men build rapport with each other. They make fun of each other. I think so. I think I killed Warren with that particular joke. All right. Let's enhance. All right. So Nathaniel says, this is a lift email for a divorce recovery course, and it's for a book a call page. Okay. So the email is leading to a landing page, and the landing page is trying to get people to book a call. All right. I do not have the full details of the course yet. The client is finishing it off. Very common. I look like Bob Smith from The Cure today. Got it. Great. Wonderful. Thanks. Product: divorce recovery course for women between 30 and 45. The idea of this email is a simple lift to a book a call page where there will be a small amount of selling and then an invitation to book a call through the guru's calendar. Okay. Subject line: you will be happy again. First name. Big bold promise. I don't know if I love that subject line. I'd want to come up with a few different ones because, again, like in this particular context, I don't know if being vague and cutesy, like withholding of information, is going to benefit you. Because the only way that people are on this email list is if they have a specific problem that they want solved. Yeah. Vague is all hell. Now that Warren has not responded to me, I am actually legitimately worried that I offended him. I don't know if that would work either. I don't know if that will work either. Yeah. And here's why I don't think that would work. Where is your wedding ring? Because the person who signed up to this list, who wanted obviously more information, like nobody gets onto a list by accident unless there's some sort of like list rental or things like that. So when you do this, like this person who signed up to this list voluntarily asked for more information. You know what I'm saying? And so if they are concerned about their divorce. Yeah. I don't know if if we really want to go hard on like shaming people about it just now. After your divorce, you may feel as though you will never be happy again. You feel broken. Your forever is imploding around you and you can't see a way out. You're thinking, how will I raise the children alone? How do I cut back on costs with one income? How do I deal with the unwanted told you so opinions of family and friends? No, I do not think it is bad to insinuate the reader's situation if you've done enough demographic research and found that it is broadly applicable to a large enough number of the people you're trying to speak to. And yes, this is true of Warren. I now do legitimately feel bad for teasing Warren. Okay. I'm gonna have something to say about all this. Because here's the thing. I'll just leave it to the end. I'll read the rest of the email and then I'll have some notes. All this is understandable, given that your life has been turned upside down, but there are ways to overcome these hurdles and be truly happy within yourself once again. This is why my new course exists. Click here to find out more. Link to a book to call page, action page. All right, Grace Anderson. Can you become a potential email copywriter, also email marketer in 3 months? Yes, you can. Will you? I have no fucking clue. All right. So here's my thing about this email. And a lot of this is sort of built on the assumption that everybody who gets divorced is naturally broken. I curiously have experience with divorce and divorcing a person and somebody getting divorced. I just got a message from Warren saying that he's going to reference that copy, but he's no longer on the stream. So here's the thing with divorce. The moment that I knew I was going to get divorced, I have spoken to a number of women who have felt this as well, did not feel any of these things. Did not feel broken. Did not feel like my forever was imploding around me. What you feel frequently is a bittersweet relief. Thank fucking God I'm out. And that comes with some guilt too. Like you feel like this, like, oh God, I feel this relief, but then there's also the guilt associated with feeling relief. And so here's the thing. This broken feeling comes typically when there's a divorce that is by surprise, when there's a betrayal at hand. And in fact, there's a whole, like, if you go to any sort of spiritual or like new agey bookstore, there's often a whole section in that bookstore, whole shelf, dedicated to learning from, recovering from, and overcoming betrayal. Overcoming the betrayal of trust, overcoming the betrayal of somebody that you love. And in fact, I think there's a great book called Learning and Loving Beyond Betrayal or something along those lines. It's somewhere in there. Oh, hey, I'm a divorced dude. I just dipped my hand. And so one of the things that you want to think about here is you don't want to come at divorcees as by treating them as broken. You want to sort of acknowledge that the experience is not just, oh, I'm this hopeless woman who will never be loved again because my husband has left me alone with the kids. Oh, how tragic, how stereotypical. No. Most women who get divorced are not like that. You want to acknowledge that there's complexity to those emotions. And so you often have to take a sort of like different tack in there and acknowledge that like not only is there the sadness and the loss, but there also comes opportunity and relief and like ability. And painting that out in this email, I think is going to do better for you if you're trying to get people into a recovery course, because you want to help people not just see that they're horrifically broken. You want to do more than just paint out the hurdles. You want to spell out more than them being happy again. You want to help people see that there's also opportunity to be like greater than yourself again, because now you no longer have this thing emotionally weighing you down, holding you back. Now you can be the whoever you want to be. Now you get to write your own story. All these words that I'm using, by the way, is copy that you can use in this email that would make it better. You understand what I'm saying? So hopefully whoever wrote this, I hope that that was helpful. When you're talking to prospects, you want to try to avoid this like stereotypes that are not going to apply to very many people. You want to acknowledge them, certainly, but you want to use the fact that there's nuance to provide a bridge that gets people to where they want to be. And that's going to help you more than something vague and unspecific, like you can be truly happy again. Like, motherfucker, I don't have that deadbeat in this house anymore. I am truly happy. You're going to encounter a lot of people who are going to have that kind of reaction. You understand what I'm saying? Hopefully that helps. So, no comment. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. We're going to move on to the next email. All right. We got from Adolfo, 6 weeks intro into a landing page. Share this tab instead. Okay. Close the other tabs. Got a lot of context and an email. All right. It is fitness related. All right. I've got my first gig to do, among other bits, a landing page to promote a 6-week training program for a friend's gym. Awesome. Very cool. Everybody who's, listen, most of you ain't watching at this point. But if you are watching at this point, that's actually a really good way to get your first gig. Like, reach out to family, reach out to friends. Like, there's going to be somebody in your extended network, friends of friends, who have businesses. There's nothing wrong with like asking for a connect, reaching out to them, being like, yo, you're trying to do this. I would love the opportunity to do some writing for you. Nepotism goes a long way. Leverage it. Although I am doing it for free, totally fine. For at this point, I don't like free work, but it's fine. So far, it has been great for learning about both copy and client management side. Perfect. If you're getting something out of it, that's great. Regarding the landing page itself, it is the first time I am doing one. I have tried to apply what I have learned from your content and have done several iterations. I am certain it can be improved, but I've got to a point where I don't know if the changes I'm doing are actually improving anything. Please don't hold back. Not that you guys don't believe you. I do. Get the knives out and butcher this piece. Probably won't. Thanks in advance. Thank you for the content. And it is not priceless. It is the expenses associated with the business. We have a video where we reveal all of them. Okay, 30 to 40, Central London, mainly Instagram. Okay. Reason they need the product, achieve peak physical performance. The ideal buyer is looking to achieve peak physical performance. I got to be honest with you. Like, I've been to a lot of gyms. I've seen a lot of fitness copy. And I've seen a lot of newbie copywriters who are aiming for people like looking to achieve peak physical performance. And there's one thing that I know about most people motivated to go to the gym. And it's not that they're looking to achieve peak physical performance. Most people end up going to the gym because they are fucking ashamed of themselves. They are sick of not being able to see their dick. I know I'm being a little crass, and I apologize, and I accept that the YouTube algorithm gods are going to punish me for that. But for real, most guys who go to the gym look down and they can't see the dick. And that's why they go to the gym. Facts. So most guys who are looking to go to the gym, they are not looking to achieve peak physical performance. If you're looking for people ages 30 to 40, they're 10 years past that. Once you hit like 30 to 40, you're at the crest of the hill. And it's all pretty much downhill from there unless you take Tren. So, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Again, I apologize for being crass. And yeah, like, so sorry, girls, women, non-binary people, everybody who's watching who's not a male. Like, yeah, that's a big motivator for guys when they get to like my age. Let's be completely honest. I wasn't able to see it even when I was a skinny mini. So I'm totally screwed. So there is that. So one idea, achieve peak physical performance. So again, like what I'm trying to say with this crass example is that you often want to look at the ideas and the goals and whom you're trying to articulate your copywriting, your ad message to. And you want to be skeptical. You want to look at it with a little bit of scrutiny. And yeah, I agree with Zach here. 30 to 40 is a very complex demo because you're going to have people who trained from the age of 12 and around 30 to 40 is where they are going to have the most amount of muscle that they've ever had in their entire life. That's about the point where, like, if you're a bodybuilder or a power lifter, where you're going to hit literally the peak of your career. That's where it peaks because it just takes that long to put on that much muscle, even with steroids. And like if you're natty, you like 30 to 40 is you can get absolutely ripped if you've been training since you were 16. But if you're 30 to 40 and you're just getting started, or if you started in your late 20s, like, to be honest, that was me. Like, I didn't start really like training or doing any fitness stuff until I was like 29, 30. And that, like I've shared it in another stream before, that was because of a really traumatic experience in my life that made me want to get stronger. And so I've had to reconcile with the fact that, like, yeah, I started training at 30. I am never, ever, unless I use special supplements that I can't get in America, I'm never going to be able to reach peak physical performance. Not ever. Bitter pill to swallow for a lot of people. And so that's something you want to keep in mind. Like, are you going for that really small number of people who have been training for 20 years already? Or do you want more money? And are you going to go for people who can't see their dick? That's the balance that you have to strike. I mentioned that to the client. He wants to target people that are already active, potentially semi-professional. Yeah, 34 now, and I feel more on the side you were mentioning. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to articulate. Yeah, but you understand what I'm trying to say here. And here's the thing with the client. All fitness professionals, they don't want to work with the fat dude who can't see their dick. They want to work with people who, like, just like me. Like, if I'm mentoring somebody, I don't want to work with a true newbie. I don't want to have to explain, this is what a landing page is. This is what a sales letter is. Okay, here's what testimonials are. That's not fun for me. But if you're a trainer and you're working with somebody who's like already a really good like deadlifter or power lifter, and you can make them just a little bit better to give them an edge over competition, you live vicariously through that person. It's fun to do that. And so that's the big trade-off that you have to have here. And you have to communicate that with your client. You have to do some client management here because they have to understand, like, yeah, they want that ideal client, the person that they can help get 5% better than the competition. But that's going to come at a cost, and that cost is usually money. So they have to understand that. So again, this is all value editing stuff. Like I haven't even seen the copy yet, but these are the kinds of things you want to be thinking about before you even sit down to write. So Adolfo, I appreciate like what's going on, or at least how you're thinking. Get in the best shape of your life in 6 weeks. Maximize results with our bespoke strength and conditioning training program. Okay. If we're talking about people that have already become semi-professional, are they looking to get in the best shape of their life? Again, this is where it gets a little sticky because like my quibble is with the idea underlying this copy before I even read the copy. If you're trying to like help a 35-year-old man like lose a few pounds to look good for their wife so that like their wife is attracted to them again, like they, so they have experience like they were when they were teenagers again. Yeah, maybe this headline would work for that demographic. But is it going to work for somebody who's been doing fucking powerlifting meets and coming in third every single time? I don't know, dude. Legitimately, I don't know. So that's something that you're going to have to contend with. Maximize results with our bespoke strength and conditioning program. Bespoke works for gift baskets and jewelry. I don't know if bespoke works for strength and conditioning programs. Just saying. Introducing our advanced 6 weeks strength and conditioning bootcamp. If you are just going to the gym to socialize, half-assing the training and scrolling in your phone between sets, this is not for you. Okay, you just lost all the people who can't see the dick. Except for a few of them. But if you are serious about your goals, looking to get in the best shape you've ever been and see training not just as a short-term objective, but as a way of life, then we are your gym. Our introductory program is composed of 4 personal training sessions and 8 small group sessions. This combination will allow you. All right. Here's the thing. I get why you're doing this. This is called a disqualifier. Disqualifying leads is a good thing for most landing pages because obviously you don't want to sell something to somebody that's not going to work for them. Disqualifying is a good thing. In a lot of cases, it's typically better to disqualify somebody closer to the offer page. Now, that depends on what you're trying to get at. Like, for example, if this particular fitness coach, guru, what have you, is fine with a 35-year-old schlubby man, like, actually buying the program, like, he's just like, yeah, I'm turned on. Like, I want to be alpha. Like, he has that in his head. Like, I don't like where I am, and that's where I want to be. Then, yeah, maybe save the disqualifying bets, like, towards the end so that you don't scare them away immediately. Okay, that's one thing. Now, here's the thing. And here's another reason why you would want to leave that disqualifying towards the end. If you are trying to like get people who are pros, get people who are professionals, get people who are like, they're already operating in the top decile of performance, and you want to get them into the top, I don't know, duo decile. Sorry, math jokes. This isn't going to work for them either. One of the things that will work probably a little bit better would be cred as a beginner. Another thing would be like actually calling out what people want. So what do these people want? People looking to achieve peak physical performance? Well, you just wasted 2 paragraphs and some change on talking about stuff that they don't care about. You're going to lose people as a result of that. It just happens. In the time it took for me to scroll up to explain that to you, I've lost people from the stream. People don't like having their time wasted. That's just a fact. And so that's something that you have to keep in mind. So again, there's some targeting issues here. There's some underlying, like, whom are you actually speaking to issues here. Personal training, understand your goals and objectives, get you to follow perfect technique, find motivation from the team, lay solid foundations so you can smash the small group sessions. Now, again, like, does this pass the bed test? Personal training. Do personal powerlifters, powerlifters looking for personal training, do they have trouble understanding their goals and objectives? Like, yeah, that can be part of the program. That's fine. But do powerlifters, like, again, people who are already on their way towards peak performance, is this something that they want? Does this pass the bed test? The bed test, of course, is, do they wake up in the morning naked and throw off that sweaty sheet and go, God damn, do I want to understand my goals and objectives when it comes to strength and conditioning? I don't know, dude. I don't think so. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. And again, if you're talking to people that are already semi-professional, like already on their way to peak physical performance, do you really need to sell them on laying solid foundations so that they can accomplish this? These are all questions you need to ask yourself, because the big problem that's holding this landing page back right now is that it doesn't know whom it's speaking to. That will fix it. Once you get clear on whom you're speaking to and what that person, that ideal buyer wants, this is all going to be a lot easier to fix. So you might be thinking, all this sounds good, but how? I mean, I don't know about that. That's a tall order. But how are you going to deliver? So, okay, this is a grammatical thing, and this is, again, more advanced. You, the reader, might be thinking, how are you, the writer, the guru, going to deliver? In one sentence, you use you to refer to two different people. You understand? So one of the things that you're running into here is that, like, you just need to look at your own copy with a critical eye and look at it through a critical lens and be like, would this actually appeal and entice the person that I'm trying to speak to? Is what I'm saying here making sense? Does this word make sense in context? Does this word make sense in context? When you're editing your own copy and revising your own copy, that's the level of scrutiny you need to put it through. Our programs are all based on scientifically backed methods and real world experience. Your training will be based on these 4 pillars. Here's the thing, and this is something I got to ask you. What makes this different? What makes this special? What's the USP here? Think about it from the prospect's perspective. What do they want? How are they going to get there? What's the bridge that you're providing them? Your landing page needs to spell that out. It needs to create and craft a vision of the bridge to actually get to an ideal self, the self that the prospect wants to be. I don't see any mention of that ideal self. I don't see anything aspirational. I don't see, like, how you're spelling out that this stuff, which I can see anywhere else, is going to be the thing, the ticket that gets me there. And the easiest way to do that, if you don't have unique mechanisms, is to just focus on cred. Why is this gym, like, why the best coaches, those with master's degrees and a solid background in working in a range of clients from professional rugby and football. But like, spell this out. Don't be vague. Use ultra specifics, because right now this is the only thing that I've seen so far that could serve as a differentiator, and it's buried towards the bottom. That's why this landing page is not working right now. Now again, is it impossible for this to sell? I'm sure 1, 2, maybe 3 people are going to like be sold on this. Just because the copy is bad doesn't mean it can't sell. And in fact, copy that specializes in putting out copy that is bad and selling stuff. And so, as Zach said in the comments, who is the audience is the main problem. So that's what you want to sort of like get through to the client and through in your landing page copy. Because right now it seems like you're trying to write to you're trying to write to everybody. And if you write to everybody, you're going to write to nobody. That is a lesson everybody needs to learn. So if you're trying to speak to people trying to achieve peak physical performance, that is a different audience. And a lot of what you're doing here is going to put that audience off. All right. Do you have any questions for me? Anything you want me to elaborate on or illuminate for you? Anything that I can do to help as I tee up? The next thing. Oh God. Don't really like Taylor Swift. I was actually having a conversation about this with somebody the other day, which is like, I feel like all Taylor Swift lyrics are what you would find in a 14-year-old's journal. That's not saying it's bad. It certainly has mass appeal. But the reason why I don't like Taylor Swift very much, not like a few songs, is that she's just so inoffensive. She's so vanilla. It's like listening to her music is like drinking a Diet Coke. It's not really nourishing, you know? Hard for me to say. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I was able to give you something that was actually helpful. What is the one exercise or thing that people can do to make them stronger, whether they are beginner or advanced? Give a freebie suggestion that shows expertise. Yeah. Tanya, I think you're on the right track here. The thing is that if you are selling to people who are truly advanced, like actual semi-professional lifters, I don't know if you really need to give value up front. Like, for example, if you're doing a more direct response thing where you're actually like, in this video, I'm going to give you 3 exercises that help reduce belly fat. That's going to have successfully like good mass appeal, because a lot of people in that demographic are going to want that. Now, if you were writing more long form, that works. If this is just a sort of like, quick, like an order form page or a sales page or what have you, where you're not really making a sales argument, you're just like, this is what you're getting. These are the benefits. These are the features. Click here to buy now. A lot of gyms would prefer that kind of copy. And in that case, this particular strategy for creating reader retention wouldn't necessarily work. So something to keep in mind. If you were selling sales course and applies to multiple niche avatar, is that still okay? Yeah, of course. Like, there are always going to be things that bleed over into multiple demographics. Always. Like, you can't narrow your focus down perfectly. It's just not possible. Secretly, quite openly. No, I have. Listen, every now and again you want a Diet Coke. I'll throw on "Shake It Off." It's a great song, except for the bridge. The bridge sucks, but "Shake It Off," the rest of the song is great. But yeah, all right, let's move on. We have copy for CT Stream context. This is a second draft of a landing page for a B2B SaaS growth consultant's personal website. Jesus Christ, that is a mouthful. That is one noun phrase. Or he wants to promote his services. I've only included the first few sections only since you'll need time to critique other people's work as well. Oh my God, Shaw, I appreciate you. Amazing. Okay, the reader is a B2B SaaS founder, wants to scale their company fast, has a marketing team, hasn't yet considered hiring full-time growth specialists. Okay. Okay, fuck you. No, I started to go bald when I was in my late 20s, and I did not try finasteride. I I look fine without hair. You know, I'll get hair implants one day. I don't care. They need a growth specialist to guide their strategic and tactical decisions. Offer a short, medium-term consultancy engagement based on their exact situation and needs, getting them onto a free 30-minute initial call. Okay, what you need help with? A lot. I got my first draft reviewed by Rod. He liked the Valley of Death idea. Revolve everything around it. Okay, coherence. Came up with an indirect headline complex because the client wants a non-salesy headline, but one that's not timid either. Does it work and does it transition well? Okay, we'll find out. Is the information related to the Valley of Death idea presented clearly? All right. Rod also mentioned that since this is a personal website, we need to sell the guy's personality and how easy he is to work with. I would agree. Let's have a casual cadence in the copy. Is a tone fine? Transition between this and one that follows smooth. Okay. Let's imagine we just landed on this page and we are a B2B SaaS founder who recently received investor funding. That's a very specific demographic. I love it. All right. Okay, you just heard of this Dragos Bogdan guy. Bogdan. I can read. And this has a CTA to book a free 30-minute consult. Image. First thing I see. First thing, what are we going to look at first? Our eyes on the page. The image, the headline, probably this, and then this. That's hierarchy of the image. So maybe if you're trying to make him seem more personal, sell the guy's personality, you have to ask yourself, does this picture do it? I would see if you can get a picture of him like at a whiteboard, like explaining something to a client. Like, you know, that picture of like a dude and he's like, you know, like he's like pointing and there's a whiteboard and there's like a blurry, like partial head in front of him. So it's clear that he's like explaining something in terms of visual rhetoric that would actually communicate what you're trying to accomplish there. So something to keep in mind. Is it necessary? No, it's just an optimization. Scaling a B2B SaaS business has never been more stressful. More and fiercer rivals gunning for your market share, inflation eating into margins, towering investor expectations, plus revenue roadblocks at every turn, making you second guess your growth strategy. Okay, very specific pain points. I love it. And believable ones too. No wonder an overwhelming majority of B2B SaaS firms never reach critical revenue milestones. More on this in a minute. Trust me, I get it. In 10 plus years as a growth specialist, I've helped several Series A to C B2B SaaS founders like you and their teams overcome all those challenges and more and consistently hit revenue targets. I don't know if you need this open loop right here. I don't know if you need it. I don't know if you need to get rid of it, but I don't know if you need it. How? With two core ingredients, experience-based intuition and strong collaboration. I would say strong collaboration with your teams. Use that magic word, you. And one secret sauce, battle-tested growth frameworks tailored to my clients' precise needs. How? Well, okay. I would switch that from to my clients' precise needs. And one secret sauce, battle-tested growth frameworks tailored to your business's precise needs. Do you see the rhetorical difference between those two sentences? My clients versus your business. It's subtle, but it's potent, like nostalgia. Curious if I can help you too. All it takes is a quick, risk-free step to find out. Book. I like this. The copy's good. The copy's definitely passing. It's already very strong. I can tell you that right now. For a B2B SaaS consultant, this is good B2B SaaS consultant copy. Dragos operates with speed and efficiency while infusing his engaging personality to motivate everyone around him. Yeah, I love this. It's pain, agitate, solution without the agitation being too terrible. Pain, agitate, solution. It's good. Here are some of the B2B SaaS firms I've helped scale. Name them. People are not all going to recognize the logos. That's just a fact. Not to sound morbid, but have you heard of the term SaaS Valley of Death? Bad transition. Yes, well formatted, not clunky, and the copy so far has been clean. One of the things that, especially publishers in Agora and other large agencies and stuff like that, what they're looking for is clean copy. And what is clean copy? Clean copy is copy where at no point in the reading process do you stop and go, what? Or, huh? Or, what? Clean copy means that you're able to go from like first word to final word without stopping and being like, okay, that just sucks, or I don't believe that, or that's confusing. So, yeah. So far, so good. This is the first part that I feel is not clean. I think a better subhead might be something along the lines of like, just simply ask the question in the prospect's head. Why do I need a consultant? Or why do I need help growing my SaaS business? That's the objection, the question that people are going to have. Why do I need you? And that's when you can spell out the big problem that SaaS businesses face, the valley of death. Basically, at each significant revenue milestone, there's a massive drop off. That transition sucks. That transition sucks ass. You can do better. All right. How can we do better? Let's say we change the subheadline to, why do you need help growing your SaaS business? Or quotation mark, why do I need help growing my SaaS business? Question mark, end quotation mark. Basically, at each significant revenue milestone. Here, you're getting pedantic. You're getting a little explainy. A copy that explains, even for B2B copy. Once you start explaining, you start losing people. You've lost me. Now, this is the part where you go, so subheadline, why do I need you to help me grow my SaaS business? Then the next line would be, because of the SaaS valley of death. And then do some gradualization. What is the SaaS valley of death? Well, you probably have experience hitting some significant revenue milestones. However, with every revenue milestone, there's a massive drop off in the number of SaaS startups that make it to the next stage of growth. Do you see what I did there? All I did was just spread it out a little bit. I wasn't salesy. I wasn't over the top or hyperbolic. Just pad it out a little bit to help people smoothly get to a different spot. And it didn't require very many words, so we're not like clearing our throat too long. We're just helping people bridge the gap from there to this next thing without being like, basically at each significant revenue milestone, there's a massive drop. Like, once you get into like the David Attenborough, like, look at the fox and how it nurtures its young. Well, even that, what I just said, is a little bit better because it's not being pedantic or overly explaining stuff. So that again, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing that you want to be attentive of. Yeah. It's like explaining the joke. It didn't land in the first place for a reason. Absolutely. Oh, first time commenter. I got a piece, but keep melting this good cheese for the copy meat. Mr. Joe Law, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Take care. Yeah. Influence and inspire. Absolutely. Okay. Now, all that said, the transition, rocky. But this 1 in 25 SaaS startups reach. It's plural, so it's just reach 1 million ARR. The other 24 never figure out the right product market fit. 1 in 250 SaaS startups hits 10 million. The remaining this amount will hit the wall due to lack of personalized sales processes. And in just this amount, uncontrolled churn. What the fuck is churn? Absence of a repeatable GTM strategy. You definitely don't want to end up here. Shaw, this is all really good. This is good. This is not good. But what you have afterwards is really fucking strong. You're doing great. You just need to transition a little bit more smoothly. It's really good. I mean, maybe not churn, but you know. Steering clear of the valley requires more than just a few folks with marketing degrees. Love it. This level of growth needed is a whole different animal. It calls for a culture of relentless experimentation, of uncomfortable decisions, of challenging industry norms and pushing boundaries. There's no substitute here for the in the trenches experience. And here's the thing: regardless of size, funding, and level of competition, I'm confident I can help significantly improve your odds of avoiding the valley. 3 things drive this confidence. I would take this out of the box. Put that right there. If you can see my cursor, right there. Like right now, this is pretty strong. Like there are a few things that I would like caution you on, but right now this is already like B copy. It's well past passing. 1, diverse exposure. You don't want a one-trick pony for something as one more thing. Book a consult CTA right under this, right under there, another CTA. And under that CTA, that button, 3 things drive this transition, drive this confidence. Diverse exposure. Maybe think about punching that up a little bit. You don't want a one-trick pony for something as critical as your startup's growth. I'm the exact opposite. My experience with a range of B2B SaaS companies, Series A to C and beyond, in various capacities means I've seen pretty much every growth scenario under the sun. For example, I worked as a consultant for Series A serverless data platform Zata, Zata, designing a tiered launch process that doubled new signups and 10x the website traffic. Testimonial. I want to, for everybody watching right now, I want to really have everybody pay attention to what Shaw is doing here. Not only is this a testimonial bullet, but it's corroborated with a testimonial. It is, this bullet corroborates this person's actual skills and shows the potential benefits that a person can get. And then that's immediately backed up with a testimonial. That's really fucking strong copy. Like, that's really good. It's really good what you're doing here. So that's very powerful. It's not only here are the results I delivered, but also Here's the actual person that I delivered results for backing me up. Solid proof. So good. Remember how only one, yeah, maybe remember how I said only this, but that's a legal compliance thing. That doesn't matter. Only 1 in 1,647 SaaS startups reach this amount. Well, I helped double that number. Double what number? This number? You pulled a Warren. You pulled a Warren West. That number, what is it referring to? This or this? You have multiple numbers in the previous sentence. You got to be clear. Well, I helped double this company's $50 million ARR as the growth, marketing, and demand generation lead at Series C open source API gateway startup Kong. Listen, for B2B, you can deal with a little bit more sophisticated of an audience. But one thing that I want to draw your attention to, because I see you doing this a lot, and it might not be helped, but I want to draw your attention to this small little thing that might help you one day. So the marks a noun phrase. What is the whole noun phrase? A growth, marketing, and demand generation lead at Series C open source API gateway startup Kong. This is one noun phrase with a prepositional descriptor. Now, we don't need to get into the grammar of this, but that's a lot. It's a lot of words to describe a single thing. You understand what I'm saying? I helped double that number at Kong, comma, a Series C open source API gateway startup. Like I understand what you're trying to do here. You're trying to cram a lot of information into a very tiny space. But sometimes, only sometimes, again, maybe this can't be helped. Sometimes that can be a little bit much and create a lot of confusion. It's a lot. And I see you doing it, like, for example, very first sentence, a B2B SaaS growth consultant's personal website. It's a lot. It's one noun phrase. So, Shaw, I'm only pointing this out because, once you have 2 points of data or two data, you have trend. And so I'm only drawing your attention to this so it's something that you can spot later on. Hopefully that helps. Love this. Love this. In a previous life, I was also a SaaS co-founder, building a content management tool for schools named Spicy Leaf. Love it. So I can relate to the thrills and struggles you experience at a deeply personal level. And that's where it ends. Shaw. Yeah. Really big bite. Hard to chew. This is good. You have good copy. I don't know how many of you know me from like the Discords, but one thing that I try to do whenever I see good copy is I simply write in all lowercase good copy. If I saw this, except for the quibbles that I've had along the way, I would write good copy. Everybody give it up for Shaw. This is good copy. There's some stuff to fix to make it better, but for what it's trying to do, what it's trying to accomplish, and for whom it's trying to speak to, this is good copy. And I want everybody to take note of that. So seriously, good job. Shaw, before I move on, do you have any questions for me? Anything else that you want me to look at or anything else that you want me to answer? Shaw, I've been looking at your copy for a long time. Seriously, like, I just want to remark upon like how much you have improved. Like, seriously, you've done so well, like over the past however many months that you've been submitting copy to us and doing all of this. You've really, really grown as a copywriter, and I'm really proud of you. All right. All the rest of you, fuck off. Shaw, you're doing great. I kid. I kid. I can't. I like I sentiment and sincerity makes me uncomfortable, and for that reason, I have to. I always have to couch it in something else. What other sections should I add beyond just the services section? Okay, if this is a consultant landing page, towards the end, then this is a common thing too. Is if you have a proliferation of testimonials, like others that didn't really fit higher up, um, you can always have a section at the bottom where it's just like, other feedback or other notes or other comments from other people. And then just do screenshots or just do like the testimonial boxes like you had here and just do one after the other after the other. Like you don't even need copy to stitch together. So that could be one. Another one, this is common too. And I actually low key love it for like either low ticket offers or stuff like that. Because you're doing B2B copy, you can just have a quick like about me section that has like a list of his credentials. Like the copy doesn't even need to be like super, super good. You can just be like, more about what is this dude's name? Dragos. More about Dragos. And then just have it be like, worked with this many companies, has these degrees, has these certifications, has this. And at that point, like the about me section is not an about me section. It's not a cred section. It really is more about like features and what are the features of this service and what are the features of this person. And that typically comes more towards the end because by that point, people have typically already made the emotional decision to book a call. And what they're looking for are more logical reasons to go through with it. So you want to think about like what are any other objections that people are going to have to actually booking a call. One section that might be, and you could probably even do this in like a gray box, like a small like here's what we're going to cover on our first call together, and then just have a list of bullets. I recently did the whole bullets thing. You just have a list of bullets of like the benefits or the features that people are going to get and like what they should expect when they sign up for that first 30-minute call. That way, like the call is actually productive. And there will be a trade-off that could actually diminish response if your bullets are not enticing or exciting enough. But usually what that does is it massively increases conversion on the back end and more than makes up for it. So those are all just things to keep in mind. So I'm looking forward to seeing your feet OnlyFans copy here soon. Yeah. A fact section is another good one to use. Totally fine. But yeah, basically like everything you've done here, you've constructed and built the emotional argument for why one should call them without being, how should I say, overly salesy. Really good work. All right, I am going to move on though. Oh God. You're right, you cannot find the bullet live stream because I took it down and it is currently only available to Patreon members. And it's going to be that way for a month while it is getting edited. However, only on the Patreon will you get the full stream as well as my Q&A. I actually had a very fun, like almost like motivational speech at the end of the Bullet Masterclass. Hopefully it helps some people. I also provided my slides in the Patreon. Am I doing a plug? I guess I'm doing a plug. Patreon.com/thecopythatshow. And then I also included several swipes from my personal swipe file that have just a ton of bullets, like so many bullets. So I tried to show very specific modern examples of copy that used a lot of bullets. So anyway, that's what you get if you sign up on the Patreon. Only that. That is the only post that our Patreon has. There are no other benefits to it. None whatsoever. And if you go to patreon.com/thecopythatshow, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing else on there. All right. for my finance YouTube channel, I've been having a sort of like existential crisis relatively recently, where I'm like, maybe my sense of humor doesn't translate very well to actual like discussing financial topics. And so I'm really going through a whole like, do I just need to be more serious on my finance channel? Do I need to be more like deadpan? Um just the thought of doing that makes me deeply sad. I really don't want to do that. That sounds miserable. Anyway, but I know my sense of humor is off-putting to some people, so that's just stuff that I'm thinking about. You don't need to worry about it. Overview. Advertorial for an ecom product bundle intended to treat scratching and paw licking. Love it. Okay. Very specific. Dig it. I wish Alex were here because he would love to look at this. Like, this has two of his favorite things: ecom product plus dogs. This is an Alex piece of copy for sure. Those two symptoms are extremely. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. You jump on stream really quick, like 5 minutes. I'm asking Alex if he can jump on stream. We'll see. We'll see if we can get an Alex on here. In the meantime, it's also one of those things that can be caused by many things, so pet parents often try solution after solution with no hope in sight. Good. I approached this advertorial with the angle of promising to reveal the real cause and provide an alternative with the drawbacks of most solutions. Our reader is most likely a white-collar woman in her 40s. Okay. Oh, Alex is going to join us in 2 minutes. So we're gonna kill 2 minutes, and then Alex is going to join, because I think that he. Why has it been a while since I posted a video on DIY Wealth? Because I'm busy. Like, actually making videos for that channel is hard. It's really hard. And also, like, I don't have anything to sell for that channel yet. And it's hard for me to justify making videos for something that ultimately is not going to make money. Like, it costs money to do all of this. It really does. And so, like, I have to be able to, because that business has like the investors and like other decision makers. Like, I can't just be making videos for the sake of making videos, like, because I ain't spending just my own money. I'm spending my money and other people's money too. So the videos that I make for that channel actually have to mean something and do something. Yeah, Alex is going to appear. Thank goodness, because I think that he would love this. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Ooh, we got an Alex.
Hello.
Hey, man. So
all right?
I am looking at a piece of two things. It's one thing that combines two things that you love. It's an ecom product, advertorial, for a dog product.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
This was worth interrupting my focus.
Sorry, I apologize for interrupting you, but I knew the moment that I saw this that this was way the fuck up your alley. So
fuck yeah, I love shit that's up my alley. It's like my whole thing. All right. Oh yeah, I need to see the screen. Hang on. Oh hey everyone. I didn't even clock we were on stream for a second. Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, I'm not I'm not in streaming mode right now. I'm in research mode, but I'm gonna quickly go to copy reading mode. Okay.
So here's the context, and then everything below is the advertorial. I saw this and I was just like, I can say a lot about advertorial, but I knew that this would be your shit.
And e-commerce advertorials especially, because I've spoken about this before on another stream, but e-com advertorials are so interesting because so often I have yet to see an ecom advertorial, just from my own experience, and there are more ecom businesses out there, but like I've yet to see an ecom advertorial that has outperformed a corresponding ad that's just like directly kind of like a search ad for a product. Like they just don't do as well, which is why there aren't as many. So I'm interested. Okay, over. Have you read this out, or am I going to be repeating this if I just read this?
I've read most of it out, but you can read it if you want to just get some quick context.
Yeah, so advertorial for an ecom product bundle intended to treat scratching and paw licking. Okay, those two symptoms are extremely common for many dogs. It's also one of those things that can be caused by many things. So pet parents often try solution after solution with no hope in sight. I approach the advertorial with the angle of promising to reveal the real cause and provide an alternative without the drawbacks of most solutions. Our reader is most likely a white-collar woman in her 40s. Okay, treat scratching and paw licking. Fine. Advertorial, Coach Defense product articles. Is your dog always paw licking and scratching? Then this holistic solution is a must. Here's why. First thing I'm going to say about that is, and like people so often kind of spend too much time analyzing, which sounds stupid, but they spend too much time analyzing headlines. If my dog is paw licking and scratching, probably going to read on. Like, so don't even need to overthink it. So fine is a headline.
Instantly, I was just like, this is instantly fine.
Yeah. Learn the truth about your dog's skin conditions and how to help using a science-backed botanical blend with over 2,031 5-star reviews. Okay. Discover why 9,801 plus dogs are tail-waggingly happy thanks to Coat Defense. Image dog licking paw and image powder being applied on dog. All right.
Can I make a quick comment really quick?
You can. I will make one afterwards.
Numbers are confusing to people.
Yep.
Yeah. Were you about to make the comment that I'm about to make?
I was going to say I know we always talk about how specificity is good, but you've just thrown out like 8 numbers in my periphery.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't the comment I was going to make, but that is a good one.
Yeah, that's the only point that I would make, which is that you have to, when you're writing, write to people with a 75 IQ. Like you are writing to people who are skimming through your stuff, who are not putting stuff together. Their instant thing is going to be like, this many 5-star reviews. Okay, that's fine. But then it's this number. And so people are going to be like, wait, this number and then this number. And the moment they see all these numbers stacked close together, they're going to get confused. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that you have to be conscientious of when you have numbers, lots of specific numbers, especially different numbers, is you kind of got to space them out or dimensionalize them a little bit to like spell that out. Again, this is an optimization. It's not going to make or break the copy. I'm just saying that like people are generally confused by numbers, especially in a copy context.
Mm-hmm. The comment I was going to make is that, and this is something, and you'll have more experience on info advertorials, Sean, and financial advertorials. Ecom advertorials, that it's always focused around a problem. Like it never isn't. It's one of two things. It's either a list, i.e. a comparison or a top 10 like headphones or whatever, or it is a problem-based advertorial, exactly like this one. You have a pain, this product solves it. This is fine so far. Something that most good e-commerce advertorials do, of which there aren't like loads, because it's not a massively common thing in e-commerce. They tell you why you have the problem and they reveal like the reason for it. Now, this started by saying, here's why. And what made me think was I thought it was going to go into, okay, well, why is my dog doing this? Like I've tried solutions. I want to understand why they're doing it. Nothing so far has kind of pointed towards like, oh, it's because of this thing, or it's because this thing you haven't heard of before. And that is taking me out of it slightly, just because you're kind of giving me a load of solutions almost, or kind of saying, hey, this is the best thing ever, it's the best thing ever, it's the best thing ever. And I've just skimmed down a little bit, and nowhere in the first like 5 paragraphs have you told me like why my dog's doing this. I think it might be at the very bottom there. No, you're still talking about the treatment. The reason I'm reading about this is because I don't currently have a solution and I don't know why my dog's doing it. The most convincing thing that you can do is explain to someone why there's the problem in the first place. Because the minute someone understands why the problem is there, they go, that's why. Then the solution becomes far more acceptable. If you just smash solutions by saying, there's a botanical blend, like it's like, okay, but why is that even working in the first place? I've used a bunch of other solutions. Why should I trust yours? It's great that you're starting with proof and you should say that this has worked for loads of other dogs, but tell me why. And we've spoken about it before, but it's why I'm such a massive fan of the unique mechanism of the problem and the unique mechanism of the solution. It works so well for ecom. So that's my first comment.
I had a similar comment earlier in the stream where I talked about foreshadowing, or at least signaling something that's going to happen later on. And like doing that a little bit subtly. It was actually in somebody's outreach. And basically saying like, you can soften and cushion the blow that often comes with like, oh, fuck, you're selling me something. By just signaling like, hey, it's sort of related to this. Or just subtly indicating something else that you're going to see later. And this does it well, that there's going to be a solution. But what's really going to keep people reading? It's what you said. Possible ways or the reasons why the dog is actually doing this.
Yeah.
So,
and I would actually I'd be more okay with this if, even if you didn't kind of talk about like why the dog's doing it, just cut out the first 4 or 5 paragraphs and just talk about the solution. Because like you're just building up nothing. So let me just read this and show you why. Is your pup's paw licking or uncontrollable scratching? If your pup's paw licking or uncontrollable scratching has you confused, then this article is a must read. You'll learn why most treatments make things worse, plus how to help. Now, common sense would suggest that you visit a vet for your dog's skin issues, but when it comes to licking and scratching, a vet's diagnosis may seem like nothing more than a guess. After all, most vets are essentially general practitioners for animals who are quick to prescribe meds that can cost you as much as $100 per month. And while I'd like to believe most vets mean well, the chemicals found in many prescriptions are known to have nasty side effects. In fact, buried with Apoquel's website, a common prescription, you'll find the side effects like seizures, skin growth, and anorexia. I'm going to stop there. Now, those 3 paragraphs, I think a layperson might read those and go, right, that's good. Like, and it's good, it's interesting, and it's kind of helping you position an enemy, if you like, and saying, you can't necessarily trust these official solutions. However, the reason I'm going to dunk on it slightly here is that it's not actually giving me any value in what I've come to this article for. I've either come to know why my dog is doing this thing or to find a solution immediately. And if you're not going to reveal to me immediately, why is my dog doing this? So I feel like I've discovered something. You don't need to remind me of all this stuff. Like there's a reason I've just clicked on an article to look at my pet's, scratching, especially if your target audience, as you said at the beginning, is someone who's tried solution after solution. Like the chances are they've already gone to the vets. They already know this stuff. And some people may be hearing this and going, yeah, but don't you need to like build a rapport with your reader and kind of show that you empathize with them? And what I say is when there is such a visceral problem that it has such a kind of simple solution, i.e. it's a botanical like powder or whatever, you don't need to waste a bunch of time resetting the stage of like, oh, well, this is why you're mad. And these are the enemies who are stopping you. And here's something that, you need to remember with all, like, you don't need to set any of that. Like, I'm just looking for a quick solution. Do you feel I'm unfair in that, Sean?
No, I think you're being perfectly fair. The word that comes immediately to my mind is you buried the lead.
There you go.
And that would be if there is this solution. No.
This is a thing, and go on.
I was just going to say that there's a lot of copy here.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that's going to keep people reading is either intrigue, or like the notion that there's going to be some bit of value related to their problems later. Now, you have to spend, in that case, a little bit more time like presenting the problem and like articulating like what could actually be the underlying cause of it before you get to like actually articulating, the alternatives that you're trying to sell against. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And this is how I would improve this copy immediately is I would even by adding to it, not even by taking away, I would throw in a paragraph, a line at the top that says like you might be scratching your head as to why your dog keeps pouring and keeps looking when you've tried so many things. Don't worry, it's probably because of this. Like that start as a dog owner or as anyone who has a problem, but especially as a dog owner in this context, that makes me want to go, okay, God, now let me read what this is, because now I feel like someone understands me, because I feel like I'm finally going to learn what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing here is kind of grabbing me with new information about something I don't know. You're just telling me stuff I already know or already think. And in this case, all you need is that headline saying, hey, you sick of your dog doing this? You've caught me. You've empathized enough. Now show me the thing that I came here to talk to know. And I don't know if this is a plague, and I don't know if we're responsible for this somewhat, Sean, but I see this a lot, is beginners overwriting, I think, because they've heard that long copy is better, and they think they need to do more than is needed, or they certainly don't cut with enough ruthlessness.
Yeah, I think that that's the problem too. Like one of the things that like really that I learned from my time at Agora was that yeah, long copy always sold, and you end up writing like 10,000, 15,000 word sales letter. But part of the process, once you're done with that draft, is okay, what 30%, cut 30% of it. What can I cut? And like part of the thing with writing long copy is that the entire point of every single line of copy is to get you to read the next thing. And if you're not doing that, if you're not being like, okay, what, like, I'll learn why most treatments make things worse. Okay. Does that relate to what I actually want to learn? Things along that nature. So it's about like making sure that you are grabbing the reader by the short and curlies and saying, read this thing, then read this thing, then read this thing. And a lot of people, I think, when they're dealing with longer form copy, advertorial or sales letters or what have you, is that they've just written, they've just like typed out a logical argument, and they haven't stopped and thought, okay, does every line serve the purpose to get somebody to the next line? And that's the point that you really need to internalize when it comes to longer form copy. So
yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, let's keep going with this. You see, most treatments for licking and scratching are made with harsh chemicals that strip away nourishing oils on your dog's skin and weaken their immune system. In other words, this means your dog is primed for more yeast infections and even more skin discomfort. Your pup's paw licking and scratching are simply their way of desperately trying to find relief. Luckily, there's a remarkable holistic solution making waves across America. It's a must-try for paw licking and scratching, and it must just be what your dog needs to live a happy, comfortable life. See, this has sparked an idea immediately as well. Imagine instead just bringing to the top of the article, saying like, the truth is there are any number of reasons why your dog may be scratching or licking, but the fact is they almost all have the same solution. Like, and then if you kind of spoke about alternatives and said, it's not this and it's not this, like you may have been told, in fact, it's this thing. Again, that's just another way we can reframe the whole article of talking about, that's how you can position against alternatives in a more interesting way. And that brings us on to, luckily, there's a remarkable holistic solution, blah, 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 blah. That's how it brings us on to that. The secret behind the 5-star reviews, why they're a must-have for every dog owner. Coats, what is that? Okay, review collage, fine. Coats Defense's daily preventative powder plus sensitive skin dog shampoo sold together as their paw liquor bundle rocked onto the market in 2021 and immediately went viral. See, okay, here's a problem I have with this, is you're now going straight into talking about a product without actually telling me why it works or showing a demonstration of like how it's working. Like, yeah, you've said you've got a collage here of like reviews and ratings. That's great as a product and as something that that is actually physical, that's going to have a process and have results. I want to see the results of that working, and I want to know why it works before you start telling me that loads of people love it, and before you start telling me that it came onto the market in this year. Like, I don't really care that it came onto the market in this year. I don't care that it immediately went viral. I don't care that it's like chemical free necessarily at this point. Show me it works first.
Yeah, like that's all down here.
Yeah. As we've established, many of the common treatments contain chemicals, distribute drugs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I think this is the thing with this. I think that so much more can be done with so much less, just by rethinking what the person on the other end of the screen actually needs to hear. And I think that's maybe where you're not thinking about it. I think maybe you're thinking about, what do I need to write to kind of show all the great things and to cover the bases of like why people might want this product. Instead, just think of, okay, that ideal reader that you've got at the top, what do they need to hear right now? What have they been through? They've been to the vets. They know that stuff. They're going to be frustrated. They want to know why their dog is doing it because they don't know why the dog is doing it. The vet is guessing and nothing has worked so far. Knowing those things, you can kind of restructure how you've done this at all.
Yeah. Like for me, here's my instinct. Put a section right here. Just replace this whole section. Here's a question. Why does your puppy have raw paws? And then show a little picture of, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Sad puppies, man.
Sad puppy
equals dollars.
Chewing on his paw, or like even a picture of a close-up picture of the paw with a zoom in.
Yeah,
and then like it's that point where you go into like, as you would say, the unique mechanism of the problem itself, which is that like then you can actually articulate like, it's not your puppy's fault that they're chewing their hand. They just don't understand, because all they feel is that raw, nagging, itching, burning sensation that they just want to soothe. But they can't soothe it because the one thing that they need is this. And but just by going at it from that different perspective, you segue immediately from that emotional hook, that strong emotional hook, into something that teases an explanation a little bit more, and then segues right into where you can then start talking about what will actually solve the problem. That's, again, it's more about injecting emotionality and understanding the perspective of the person who is actually reading this.
And that brings me on to the point that I first made before we looked at the copy itself, which is why Ecom advertorials aren't as common, is because what we've just spoken about there can be so easily achieved in an ad, in a creative on Facebook, on a short video with a few bullets. Like nothing, we haven't really kind of layered loads of complicated copy on top of each other. We're basically just saying, hey, mention this thing and explain why this works and show a photo of this, and show before and after, show some good reviews. That can be done in a very short space. So why would I spend a load of money and time trying to rank organically for an advertorial when the first 15 articles for typing in why is my dog scratching or whatever are going to be like genuine, just informational articles from like PetMD and places like that, or it's going to be a bunch of ads. Like, why would I bother writing an advertorial for that unless I know that it's going to a list or something? But again, if it's going to a list, you can do this in a very, very short lift to a product page. Like it doesn't need to be this much.
Yeah. The idea doesn't need a life support system.
Yes.
Like people are familiar enough with the problem and in desperate enough need for the solution that they don't need a whole lot of convincing to take action. And that's what an advertorial is really for, directly or indirectly informing people or enticing people to take action. This does a decent enough job of like spelling out like the product and like the everything like that, but like what it's missing is God, this is going to sound so sappy. It's missing heart.
Like, no, I agree.
So
I mean, I literally just, so the video I just recorded for my other channel was about this, is about ecom funnels versus info funnels, and why ecom can tend to go for the jugular a bit quicker. It's for that reason. I got a new e-commerce channel, by the way, guys. Go subscribe to that. I got to plug that while I'm
it's Alex Myatt Ecom.
Thanks, dude. And DIY Wealth. Go subscribe to that as well.
No.
Yeah, no, don't. Just subscribe to Alex Myatt Ecom. Okay.
Do you want to talk about any more of this?
I would like to skim through because I want to read this how a person would read it. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of skimming, stopping at the subheads and the CTAs. Right.
There's some bacteria fighting ingredients. Just a quick pedantic note. This stream, I've been a little bit more pedantic about like line edits and like individual snippets or clauses or bits of copy. Cool. As we've established, generally don't write that. Like, don't write that. As we've established, many of the no.
That's essay writing.
It's essay writing. It sucks. I hate it. You should feel that.
That's why you did it for 9 years.
Yeah. All right. So recent study has shown organic ingredients in this bundle: sodium bicarb, aloe vera, 2 of the dozen holistic skin soothing ingredients. Check availability. I like the implicit scarcity implied by check availability.
The anything where you feel like you're part of a club or you're getting a good deal. Funnily enough, a dog site that's a mix of ecom and informational stuff for dogs that I really like, called I Heart Dogs. They do a thing. They've started doing it recently, which I've loved, which they've definitely picked up from somewhere and I hadn't seen before, is instead of discounts, they're giving in-store credit. It's just a discount. So like to qualify for the in-store credit, you have to spend at least like $20 and it equals like a 20% discount or whatever. But instead of just saying, oh, you got a 20% discount, you are getting $5 worth of in-store credit when you spend $20. Framing it in that way makes it feel so much more exciting. Just like check availability makes it feel a lot more exciting instead of just buy now. So yeah, I agree.
Nice.
Skin issues.
Sorry, somebody tagged me in Discord and I was like, why are you tagging me? Stop talking to me. Nobody talk to me.
Yeah, you don't like our audience. That's been established.
Nice.
I like them.
Yeah.
It can help with skin issues from seasonal allergies. Again, here's something though, and here's I'm going to be a bit pedantic. I'm going to be pedantic. It can help with skin issues from seasonal allergies. Makes me feel like this article is meant to be telling me why my dog is having these issues, and now you're saying me like it can help with these things, implying like, well, maybe the dog has this, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't feel like an extra benefit. It makes me feel like, oh, well, is this actually designed to stop my dog specific problem, or do you not know what my dog specific problem is? Nitpicky, but
yeah. And also, like we were talking about this earlier, it can versus it will versus, help your puppy.
Yeah.
When he or she is suffering from skin issues from seasonal allergies or something along those lines.
Yeah. Even just protect your puppy from pollen or something like that. Just something that puts you in mind of like, oh yeah, well, I have hay fever, I have allergies, or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And like the only reason why you would write this headline is if you were trying to SEO it.
Yeah, and but that's my thing is, why bother SEOing with an ecom advertorial? I want to meet good ecom stores who use advertorials that aren't lists and comparisons, but use them in this way, who are killing it. But I've yet to meet someone. So if
hostage tape.
Sorry?
Hostage tape. Almost all of their landing pages are advertorial.
Hostage tape. Strongest comfortable. What are you doing in your spare time, Sean? Fantastic. But is this coming from an ad though? Their landing pages. I'm assuming that they're coming from Facebook ads more.
Yeah. Facebook ads to advertorial.
That's more okay. What I mean by this is like if an advertorial is like being primed as the key entry point through organic search, like why bother doing SEO in an advertorial that's coming from an ad is what I mean.
I'll play devil's advocate. Because especially Google PPC ads, more so than Facebook, they will scan stuff using the same algorithm used for SEO to determine the relevance of the landing page to the actual ad, and that determines ad quality.
Fair. I have not seen that in practice enough to get fully behind it, but I will take your word on it.
Yeah.
But well done, Hostage Tape. I'm going to have a look at this store later.
I have a feeling that you would love Hostage Tape, not only for their copy, it is an ecom product after all, but also for its potential use cases.
Yeah, let's not go into that on stream. You should. There's another ecom. If anyone wants a store that really knows its market, you should type in "We the People" holsters. I think that's what it's called. They're great. They're really good. If anyone wants some good e-commerce, like branding, even they just get their market. They remind me of Black Rifle Coffee.
This one?
Yeah, these guys. These guys run a ton of ads and they get their target market.
Ooh, look at that pop up immediately. 25% off just for you.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they don't do everything brilliantly, but in terms of like getting it on point with who they're targeting, this is a recent one I've come across who I really like. Anyway, yeah, very, very patriotic. Exactly. I love American e-com companies, Black Rifle Coffee, We the People holsters. There's something Hunters. I can't remember what the name is now. They're really good though. They're all like that kind of American, like heartland kind of conservatives. It's great. It's masterclasses in e-com copy, and everyone should go and study it.
Have you looked at For Patriots?
I feel like I've maybe seen their product pages before. I don't know the store though. For Patriots. Yeah. But then I get a lot from there's a few lists I'm signed up to, like prepper lists, and they send to loads of pages like this.
Yeah.
Like Patriots for You and things.
I dig their stuff. Like it really is. They just have so many good, quirky, cute, like ecom specialty novelty products for a very specific demographic. And I fucking love it. It's so good.
They know what they're doing. I'm actually kind of jealous that in the UK we don't have more of these types because the country isn't as big and we don't have as much like outdoor space and stuff. People aren't in this market as much. But I would love to do this in the UK. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, you can't sell like a portable solar powered rechargeable battery.
Yeah, the cloud
in
really
gloomy
powers.
Old England.
It really powers the house. It's really going to help. And then you run away to go to the wilderness, but you realize like the furthest you can get away from civilization is like 25 minutes. So yeah, brilliant.
Anyway, let's finish this up, and because I want to be conscious of your time, and because I appreciate you coming online to look at it.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Do we need to dig into this section?
You don't go belly up when the. Oh right. Now my initial thought was it's gonna die when you said belly up, because belly up to me is a bad thing. The big beast goes belly up. I understand now you mean it's gonna roll over in joy, but I would maybe reword that. He doesn't like his paws or smell like Frito bag anymore. I don't know what that is.
Okay. I appreciate what's going on here. Your dog will go belly up. So we're using evocative imagery to put in your head the image. I tried to click this image link, but it's expired, so there is no image associated with it. But I imagine it's a puppy exposing the belly. Happy dog. Yeah. And then we immediately follow that with he doesn't lick his paws or smell like or smell like Frito bag anymore. Yeah. What you're doing here 2 times in a row is relying on somebody to have the correct association with indirect language. And that's dangerous. One, because belly up has other connotations as well. And then also this is relying on a person understanding this. And when you stack things like this linguistically, one after the other, the copy confuses people. And a confused mind does not buy. So that's something that you all want to keep in mind. So like be careful about like having copy. It's good to have associations. It's good to play with like cliches, idioms, associations, and in via indirect language sometimes, as long as like it's very clear what you're talking about immediately after you say it. But when you stack stuff like this, it loses people.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Paw Liquor Bundle has been a massive hit in the pet world and changed the lives of countless dogs across the US. Dog parents love it.
Hold on, we have a question. Can you use the word Frito? And the answer is, in the US, generally yes. You might need to use a registered trademark symbol next to it. But here's the kicker. As long as you're not trading on the name of a product, here's the thing. It should be fine. The worst case scenario that's going to happen is that you will receive a cease and desist from the company months or years after the copy goes up. And if you get a C&D from Frito-Lay Corporation for referencing their product here, one, the odds of them seeing it are basically not at all. Two, the odds of them taking action on it are basically not at all. And three, if they do send you a C&D, you change the fucking word and then everything's fine. It really is that simple. So
yeah.
So final thoughts on...
Yeah, like I can see we're halfway through. I was gonna say like the rest of it, I would just stack tons and tons and tons of testimonials. Like how now you've got, what was that? How to get the best results for your pup? What was that? At the best price possible. Okay, I see. Plus free shipping. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So I'm a big fan of instructions on product pages because it future paces the person, which means it puts the person in mind of actually having it and kind of showing them what to do. So I like that. I think that's good. And then classic kind of offer stack. Really, I don't know if anything else is coming with this. I mean, you got free shipping. Any other free gifts? Not that I can see. 30-day guarantee. No. Okay. I think I know we've been dunking on this and we've been critiquing it and helping. Look, this is not awful. This is not like really bad.
Oh, yeah.
This is not like I wouldn't like go, oh man, like I'm not a good copywriter. I'm going to never try again. Like, I think there's a lot of good stuff in here. I think the core issue and the thing you need to go away and think about is just actually rethinking, okay, without saying everything, what are the most important parts I need to get across? And like Sean said, aim to strip 30% away immediately. Like, what could you kill? And there's a lot, as we've been through, a lot of lines in there that can be just cut completely. I can see this as a sample, so I know that I'm assuming this isn't, you're not doing this for like a real company. I'm not sure, but I would, if you're in charge of the strategy, I would of course kind of like ask about, okay, well, what's the benefit of doing the advertorial? Who's going to be seeing the advertorial? Where is it going to be placed? But those are kind of separate from the copy. Let's just assume you've been given the brief to write an advertorial. I would always try to argue to be a bit more concise than this and a bit more, I guess, narrative driven. It kind of feels like you've just thrown a few sections together, just like, okay, well, let's just put testimonials here. Now we've got instructions, like, okay, we should list ingredients somewhere, and now we should have the main benefit and talk about like the solutions. It doesn't feel like there's actual kind of thread going to it. Whereas the start made me think that you were going to reveal things and kind of take me through it.
Lack of the golden thread is what I feel like it's really going on here.
Yeah, I agree.
And just so everybody understands what I mean by that, the golden thread is the through line of logic that carries and connects all the different sections of your copy together from like one thing to the next.
Yeah.
All this does feel a little disjointed. And what I think would be better is starting a little bit more like value driven, but like still tease. Like, don't just give away all the information for free up front. Like, actually provide value, provide like something that people can latch onto and feel like that they're going to get not only information about like what's causing pain, but also like different ways to solve it. Here's a strategy. Like what I would do in a sales letter or a piece, in this case, an advertorial for this. You know, if you're going to go through like the possible causes of the problems and then say, but here's the thing, each of these problems has solutions. And then you would say like solution, you know, for, you know, Rob puppy paws #1, aloe vera. And then you have a little section on like the potency and potential of aloe vera. And then like you have another section on like another ingredient and then another ingredient. And guess what? Hey, presto, by the way, there's one product that actually combines all of these solutions for all the potential things that be causing these problems. And it's this. And that's when you pivot to the offer. That's when you pivot to the actual thing that you're selling. Because then all of a sudden, all the solutions that you're presenting, it becomes easy to buy. There's a reason to buy. You've just given people the solution to their problems. Well, and now you're giving a service. You're providing a service in showing that, hey, there's one product that covers all these solutions that I've just gone over. That would be what I would do if I were to rewrite this. That's the thread that I would draw. Anywho, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
No, I think it's a fair opinion.
Alex, cool. I don't think, because I have to watch my kids in like 7 minutes, so I don't know if I have the time to cover another piece of copy. I did not even get close to through all the copy that was submitted.
It happens. I've been pretty good recently when I've done these, but 80% of my streams I've probably got through about 2 or 3. We should watch old infomercials at some point for stream. Can we do that?
I would love that.
Yeah. I've been on a real binge of them recently. I don't know. Your favorite is the slap chop, right?
Oh my god, the slap chop is so good.
Yeah.
Slap chop, flex tape. What's another one? Oh, the Sham Wow is really good.
Oh yeah. I love
I just saw one. I want to show this to you because I think that you would love this.
Please show me.
Oh, it immediately goes to copy that. How pluggy.
Go subscribe.
God, what was it? Baby. Oh
yeah, Baby Reindeer. You gotta watch that.
Baby Bullet.
Baby Bullet.
So, okay. So what this person did was he took an infomercial for the Baby Bullet, a real product with a real infomercial, and then made it weird. And I love this because guess what? The copy is still pretty good, but it's clearly like mocking the copy for it. So I think you would appreciate this. Everybody let me know if you can hear my screen.
Oh, the baby's gonna love that, hon. Thank you, Aunt Marcy. So where's your gift? Oh, me? I'm waiting for a special delivery. And it's just in time. Special delivery for Jenny. Special delivery for Jenny. Oh, come on in, Mick. Just set it right down there on the counter. Nice package. Congratulations, Jenny. Wait till you see this. Now, have fun today, everybody.
I don't like
come on,
it,
guys.
Sean.
Come on in and take a look at this. Gather round. You need to check this out.
This fucking Nightmare on Elm Street
I
music.
show you this all day. You remember the magic bullet,
and
right?
by that I mean it gets better.
All right, magic bullet margaritas. Calm down, Grandma. Well, this is the baby bullet. The makers of the magic bullet have redesigned the blade, the motor, and the size into the perfect combination for making perfect purees. For the best baby food making system you've ever seen.
Can I just state how much I love that in the original infomercial that this is mocking? Like, this whole setup was just there, like off the camera, off the side of the camera, as she's explaining what this is, and then we pan to the side. It's just all there, all set up. Oh.
And I love this because it's so common in infomercials. It's the system. It's like they talk about the product, the system, and then there's got like 14 other free things that come with it.
Yep.
My favorite, I think my favorite is the Flavor Wave. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
The Flavor Wave, it honestly is a fantastic infomercial. It's so good.
Do you want to watch an actual good infomercial, or do you want to continue watching this parody of this infomercial?
For the sake of the audience, I feel we should watch an actual one to impart some wisdom. But I'm going to watch this one later myself.
It gets
7
weird.
minutes? Holy shit.
Well, yeah, they slowed it down tremendously, but it's at one point like shit, it gets really weird, and it really does like harp on like how inappropriate it is at times.
I mean, an old woman said "nice package" of what is advertising a baby product.
Yeah, it's for a baby product. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, there's some funkiness. It for an infomercial for a baby product. It's really horny.
I mean, who has babies though? Like men and women who just had sex.
True. That is absolutely true. Except for my kids. I have no idea how my kids came to be because I've never actually known the touch of a woman.
I'm not going to explore that topic with you, Sean.
Huh.
I think you need to speak to your wife.
Huh. I don't know. Communicating with your partner is so, I don't know, 2010s.
Beta male. We call that beta
Exactly.
male.
Exactly. Like we need to go back to the 1950s era where it was just all drinking and, you know,
beating
abuse.
and yeah. Beautiful. This took a turn.
So give me a good infomercial.
Do the Flavor Wave. I think it's on YouTube. Not the
oh my god, is this with
one.
Mr. T?
No, not the Mr. T one. There's the flavor. Trying to remember the guy's name. It's like Chef.
I was a 4-year-old and I was obsessed with the A-Team. So I'm already on board with this.
Oh, it's the halogen oven one. That's it. I wonder if it's only on Vimeo, you know. I think the one that I like is a very specific one. Oh, Flavor Wave Oven Turbo CTA Pot 1. Oh no, wait. No, the one I know is on Vimeo.
Look at you, all fucking fancy with your fucking Vimeo links.
I'm sorry. Okay, how about what's the other one? Flexi. Oh shit, what's it called? It's like oh my god, I can't remember the name of it.
We're watching the shake weight.
Shake weight.
Ladies, when you put on that sleeveless dress, what's the first thing that sticks out? Our arms are the problem area that we never seem to be able to find the solution for until now. With the
problem, our arms are the problem area that we never seem to find the solution to. There you go.
shake weight.
I think it was.
Shake weight is the flab busting breakthrough that trims your arms and shapes your shoulders. At
I've seen the
same
South Park
time.
episode.
The back of my arm. Definitely in the tricep area.
Oh my gosh, I can feel the definition
Oh.
already.
That's some real work.
Oh my god, I can feel the definition already.
But they knew what they were doing. They must have known.
You just shake it back and forth. There's no motor, no batteries, and you get the results you want.
In a matter of seconds,
This was
you feel
such
it
a
really
huge
working your
product.
muscles. My arms feel worked. It's definitely a good workout. I'm feeling it.
You know what? I blame the great financial crisis for this.
I mean, I blame American consumerism, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's smartware. That's what I was thinking of.
Smartware.
Yes, SMARTWARE. Yeah, smartware infomercial. That's the one.
All right, this is the last one, and then I do actually need to.
Okay. The one at the top. Yeah, Chef Tony.
Ooh, Chef Tony.
The
Yeah.
following paid presentation is proudly brought to you by Smartware.
Love it already.
I know.
Special television offer from Smartware Non-Stick Cookware. Stay tuned to find out how you can get America's hottest selling nonstick baking and ovenware free. Just pay shipping and processing. You heard right. The entire smartware system. Stay tuned for details.
So if we're going by the great leads paradigms, this is clearly already an offer lead.
Mhm.
Like this would be called an offer lead because we're immediately saying like, this is the product, this is what you can get. Like, stay tuned because you're going to get more information. But like we are opening with the offer.
It's also worth saying that these channels that they would run on, like they would do them in separate ways. So this is like part of when they're redoing the offers for the day, or they're like kind of demonstrating their biggest offers. So they'll always have this before the big demonstration. But other times, if you're just watching it straight up, they will just show the demonstration. They go straight into it. So like this is a way to just sum it up really quickly for people who are skimming through or whatever. But it gets so much better, like the demonstration. But like they did a demo, they've done a great offer, they've said free, straight away. It's great.
I want to watch the demo, but have you seen the demo for Flex Tape?
The smacking on the
yeah,
that's great.
That's good.
One of the best demos.
Are you still cooking the old-fashioned way? Tons of oil, tons of fat, and your meals still don't come out right? That's dumb.
Oh, it's so good.
It's time to clean up, and you're scraping, soaking, and just hoping it'll all go away. That's dumb. Now it's time to get smart with Smartware, the remarkable cookware concept that's sweeping Europe and
the remarkable cookware concept that is sweeping Europe.
Yeah, this and Flavor Wave, man, they're my absolute favorites.
Hottest innovation for the kitchen in years. It's so revolutionary. Smartware guarantees you perfect results every time. The secret is our exclusive TemperFlex. Unlike ordinary pots and pans, the TemperFlex distributes heat more efficiently than metal or glass with no hot spots. So meals cook faster and more evenly for perfect.
Y'all see what just happened there? That was a mechanism.
And this is what I mean about explaining how it works. It gives so much more proof and authority to the product because all of a sudden you understand and you can explain to others like, oh, it's because of this thing. Mm-hmm. And something we shouldn't ignore, like copy aside, the demonstration. Look at all this shit happening in the background. Immediately fine. Guarantees perfect results, shows you the end result.
The biscuits, that one burned, one not. Yeah.
Perfect results every time. That's right. No more burnt food or under.
And what's interesting about this is, okay.
And more evenly for perfect results every time. That's right. No more.
So here's the thing. A lot of people reading financial copy early on in their copywriting journey will be like, do we really need another chart? Do we really need to see this? Look at what's happening here. They just showed the biscuit. That was one demonstration. Then they show basically the same demonstration again, but with a different product. The whole point of having that repetition, same but different in the Oliver Lyric sense, not that anybody is familiar with that very obscure reference. What this is showing is the certainty that anyone can do this for any context. Like the whole point of having a same but different piece of proof or same but different demonstration is to help people understand that, yes, these results are consistent across different products and across different use cases. So very smart. Do not be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed.
I had one too.
Burnt food or undercooked food ever again, guaranteed. Best of all, you can cook all your favorite foods without extra fat and without excess calories. And TemperFlex is non-stick, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, because it's flexible, you can store 30 pieces in one drawer with ease. You've never seen anything that looks like it or cooks like it.
They just pop right out. I'm telling you, they don't stick. You can see.
Doesn't stick. Doesn't stick at all. No oil, no grease, no butter or nothing. Look, it looks great and tastes great.
I didn't have to use any fat, no butter, nothing at the bottom. We love.
And the thing I love about that, they keep harping on that, is like you basically create a implicit benefit there, which is that it helps you lose weight.
Yeah, 100%.
So good.
And it's we often talk in other copy about not just piling benefits on for the sake of it. Again, ecom products one of the, not for all of them, of course, but like for something like this, where it's slightly an impulse buy, where it's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, that looks good. The more benefits, the more things you can throw in, like, and it does this, and it does this. It's just immediately saying, well, I would be stupid not to get this.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. And then also, like, in addition to showing additional benefits, it also overcomes objections. Hey, do I need oil or spray for this?
Yeah.
No.
100%. And I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have time to get to like the presentation bit, but something I would kind of want to ask you, Sean, or that I noticed when I've been kind of watching these recently, is they always have, or usually these ones, this company who did it, they have two people. They have like the person who's kind of leading the demonstration and the hype man, usually a hype woman next to them, saying, oh wow, it does that, like that's so amazing. And I was like, God, that is just a precursor to the eventual like interview style of so many VSLs. Yeah. Before they even did it in that style. So I love it's so great to watch.
We'll see if I get to my phone is over there, and I want to make sure that my wife is, because okay.
Please go look after your family.
We left the smartware.
750,000 sets of smartware have already been sold for $40. But for the first time ever, you can get a complete set of smartware free. Just pay shipping and processing. So stay tuned as America's favorite chef, Chef Tony, and TV host Susan Williams unveil the cooking miracle you've been waiting for, smartware.
Chef Tony.
Susan?
Hi,
I love that. And TV host Susan Williams.
I'm really excited about this. I cannot wait to learn all about smartware. This just looks completely different.
And you know what? I love to cook and I love to eat.
Oh.
I want to comment on the copy there for a moment. And this just looks completely different.
Well, but I bet I know something you don't love, because I know.
Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I have to say, Chef Tony is great as well, as you guys will see.
Nice.
No, I don't. The cleanup, I mean, things can be a mess.
Absolutely. But today we're going to discover the right tools for both cooking and baking, fast and easy cleanup, and best of all, I'm going to save you tons of space in your kitchen. And your food is guaranteed to cook at the right temperature evenly every time. Let me prove it. Smell these brownies.
They smell absolutely great, but I do have to tell you, these look like mine. It's all burnt around the edges, but the middle's not even cooked. And
don't worry about it, because that's never going to happen ever again. This is the same gooey brownie mix, but it's made in our smartware pan. Number one, look, I can literally pull the sides right away, so the sides aren't stuck.
Okay.
Watch, I can literally, this is where the flexibility comes in. Look at that. Nothing sticks to smartware.
Oh my gosh,
you're going to get absolutely perfect.
That's so good.
Listen to the hype woman, to Susan Williams, and listen to the audience. I think if you play, they'll like go, oh.
Results each and every time. And you want to talk about absolutely delicious.
Oh, absolutely. This is truly, truly amazing. And look at how clean that pan is. I got to have a taste of this.
Now, just a little bit of a taste, because at the end of the show, I'm going to make a dynamite dessert out of this that's to die for.
Oh.
Beautiful. And look, talk about cleanup. Just one wipe. Look at this. Nothing sticks to smartware.
That is amazing.
Love it.
It's so good.
But here's something I don't understand, Chef Tony. How can cookware that's so light and flexible stand up in the...
How can this thing that's so feature that both imply benefits also do
heat and not melt or warp?
Objection in the customer's head.
Let me
guys, that everybody right now should write in their little notepad of like copy snippets and templates. How can something that's characteristic that implies a benefit and characteristic that implies a benefit also do thing that overcomes objection?
Yep.
There you go. That's a template. That is a solid transitionary template.
The secret's in our Temperflex. It's not plastic, and it's...
By the way, Maureen literally used to watch these as a kid for entertainment. QVC was my jam. Maybe I was meant to be a copywriter. I legitimately used to collect junk mail. When I was like 11, 12 years old, I would collect junk, like mailed ads. So straight up, there is something to that. That if you were drawn to ads and infomercials and copy when you were a kid or younger, in all likelihood, there like something happened to your brain
and
that made you.
It's the same. Like I always used to run over when we used to go to we have garden centers in the UK. There's like loads of them, and I don't know why they probably have this in America, but there was always like a little TV set up in like certain sections of the garden center. It's like this big shop for home and garden stuff. And there's this company called JML, and they did so many of these products, and they were like mini versions of these. And I always used to go and watch them just because like it's made to keep attention, and it's interesting. It's more interesting than fucking indoor plants. So that's why I flocked to the nearest TV. But yeah, you're right.
And one thing I love about this, not plastic, not rubber, like we see that in copy all of the time, like common copy, like whether it's brand or direct response, like, you know, in a financial promo, you would commonly see it's not what you think. It's not options. It's not risky. It's not risky cryptocurrencies. It's not this. The whole point of that, again, get somebody to watch. Here is to get somebody to watch the next second. In copy, it's to get somebody to keep asking, keep that suspension of disbelief, keep somebody reading that copy. And so, again, really amazing.
Not rubber. TemperFlex is our exclusive flexible cooking material that's made to withstand temperatures from the freezer.
Notice how it said it's not this and it's not this. It's this. But even when you know what this is, you still don't actually know what the fuck it is.
Exclusive. It's exclusive.
Proprietary.
One of a kind.
Yes.
Freezer all the way to 500 degrees and always stay intact and always keeps its shape. Best of all,
I love that. That demonstration is
all the way to
so
500
good.
degrees and always stay intact.
Look at that.
And the amazing thing, I haven't counted. I kind of want to spend my time doing it. How many cuts do you think they have? Like we always say, like how cuts now. It's a newer thing, and loads of YouTube videos and stuff do it. They were doing this 20 years ago, like cutting to one thing and cutting to another thing to show, to prove, to keep to keep your attention, to keep you watching and going. You know. Yeah,
like I've been saying this for a while. I don't think I've said it on stream yet, but a Mr. Beast video is a commercial.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast videos are just cut like old school infomercials.
Like that's why they can go for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And like, if you understand the logic of infomercials, you understand what makes game shows work. You understand what makes Mr. Beast videos work. Mr. Beast videos are just infomercial plus game show.
Yeah. Really good.
And always keeps its shape. Best of all, TemperFlex flexible material allows heat to pass right through it. Top, sides,
ordinary loaf pan, smartware, guarantees even cooking. This is so good. Yeah. Alex, thank you so much for bringing this into my life.
No, you're very welcome.
I should probably go.
Yeah, please do. I've just been on a binge of infomercials recently, and this and Flavor Wave, which is another one we should watch. They both stood out to me. Maybe because I like Chef Tony as well. But
are you going to get for Healthera an actual pharmacist with a hype man to talk about, like, in his very British way, like all the benefits that Healthera can actually confer to other pharmacies?
This is why part of me wishes I was born American, because hype just doesn't translate to the UK because we're such a glum people that the minute you throw hype in, people go like, all right, okay, what's the catch?
Okay, then have a British hype man who does basically that. Like, all right, okay, what's the catch? I don't know why I slipped into Australian there for a second.
Well, what's the catch, mate?
All right, what's the catch, mate?
Was that Australian?
All right, cut. What's the catch?
Sorry to any Australians watching. We're deeply offended by that. But yeah,
I'm just accurately describing their entire nation.
Yeah, I know. We've made many national enemies on this show.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. We are going to get canceled by the entire country of Australia.
UN.
I just watched like 5 people drop off the stream too.
Well, I think that's a good a time as any to leave it.
That's our cue to leave. That's our cue to leave.
I'm sorry for derailing the whole stream and making us watch SmartWare commercials.
No, we only had a few minutes left, and there was no way that I was going to get through another piece of copy, and I do need to go.
Well, guys, it was amazing to see you briefly. Sean, as always, lovely conversation.
Thank you very much for hopping on stream briefly for the last ad. I knew that you would have more intelligent things to say about that than me, so I appreciate it.
No way. I think we're both pretty cool. I am cooler. I am. We should do that thing the Beatles did, where we each sell was it like a button or like merch, Sean, Lindsey, Rod, and Alex merch, and see who gets bought the most, and then hate each other forever internally.
So here's the thing.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that because my pride will either be hurt or I'll feel like an arsehole.
What I would like to do, and this is probably going to come after my AI versus human copywriter video idea, which is just going to be so elaborate and like it's going to get like 1,000 views, and I'm just going to spend way too much time on money to justify its existence. Anyway, I would love to have a campaign where we each where the campaign is like 1 month long, and we each have our own landing page for the same product. And we each have 1 week where we write the emails for the landing page and say, this is a 1 month thing. And like, we randomly selected the order, or we could even just intersperse and intercut with different emails going to the different landing pages. And we have a contest to see okay, who can sell the most of this thing?
Let's do it.
It would accomplish the same thing that you're talking about of determining who's quote unquote the best copywriter, who has the most fans for copy that. But we all know that it's going to be Lindsey.
Of course. Me, you, and Rod just chat shit. We don't actually write copy. We just make money off of YouTube videos.
Fuck. Yeah. Lindsey's the
I
busy
forget
one.
that.
Yeah.
Lindsey has kids. And I mean, you have kids. You're just ignoring them.
True. At this moment.
So please go.
All right.
Please go. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.
Everybody, thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something on this particular critique stream. Alex, thank you again for joining us. Guys, we will catch you next week. I think we're going to do another masterclass, maybe?
I am planning to have mine ready for next week.
Okay.
That's how I'll leave it right now.
Are you doing what I normally do, which is put it up for a vote, or do you have a specific thing that you want to talk about?
I have a specific thing I want to talk about just because it's been requested twice and we said we would do it, which is the client onboarding one.
Yes, that's important. So, okay, that's a good one. Build hype around that, and then also make sure that people understand that it's going to be taken down. That
got it, yeah.
The TCC. So,
guys, all 36 of you, it's going to be taken down. So watch it next week. Or the week after. It should be next week. I'll do it this weekend. There's so much going on right now.
Thank you again for coming and hanging out. Everybody who's watching, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who submitted copy today. I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody, but we did a lot. And so I hope everybody benefited.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Right. Bye.